Buongiorno, buongiorno. How's everybody doing tonight? How is everybody doing tonight? Yeah, um, I'm about as ready as I've ever been, to be honest with you. As to say is very little, very little. Um, but what I do have prepared is should be pretty. What I hope to be pretty interesting. Firstly, thoughts on group publics. I want to be asking around on that. Secondly, would be obviously the quality of the moderation. That's the biggest thing that I want to poke at. It's like for group publics, right? Moderation is probably like one of the key appeals I feel to these kinds of worlds because it's not just unfiltered chaos. It isn't just um, fucking what's ostensibly cancer, to be honest with you, but it isn't just that. So I'm curious to see like people's experiences with this because I know my experience is not necessarily best. So like if you give people unrestricted access to power, people are going to abuse that, right? um there's very little incentive not to. So with that, I guess, yeah, I don't know. It's I guess let's see. Another thing that's interesting is like people have like pre-existing ideas about like what a world should be used for as well. And what's interesting is like potentially the intersection between of like what a group would want to do within an instance, and then the actual like average person's experience with an instance type. For example, Black Hat is extremely uh, it's like a melting pot almost, and people like come to expect that um, from the Black Hat. So I'm curious to see if this impacts things at all, like people's view of these things. Like, oh, maybe they're what's the word, encroaching on my idea of this thing, therefore tarnishing it in some way, shape, or form, which would more than likely be very negative. All these kinds of things that I'm very curious about. What's up, Grimly? Hi. I feel like I should start in like a little bit more of a chill lobby. I'm gonna be honest. Going to B Club or the free worlds. Who knows? Because like the B Club too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I have a couple ideas. I have a couple hypotheses, but I'll keep that to myself. Currently running around trying to find somebody. It's always so paranoia inducing. It's like, oh yeah, they're gonna think of me like a fucking weird cunt. Like I'm definitely not being a weird cunt. Like I don't know. It's undue social anxiety, I guess. I need to turn down my mic a little bit. It's a little bit loud. There you are. Just a touch loud. All right. I'm gonna need to make sure that VR chat audio is working as well before doing anything too drastic. Yeah, Damn, man, everybody's like grouped up. Unfortunate days. It's a Friday night, so I'm anticipating some drunk people. I'm not sure how that's going to be looking for me, but I hope it doesn't get in the way, because Friday is a pretty prolific drinking night for most folk.
Information alone is not enough. We also need the meaning of that information.
Yeah, that is the long and short of it. God damn, man. Kicked from instance immediately. Fair game, fair game. Yeah, with this, I don't think like group instances are necessarily going to be too privy on like, me being in them. If all my like honest opinion, I don't think many will. I've made it a lot more obvious through my bio and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, this is what's happening. God damn, man. I'm just world hopping like a motherfucker right now. I don't want to like interrupt anything. That's like the meme, right? I guess there's a skill issue on my part, but... excuse me. Yo. Yeah, I'm world hopping right now, asking people questions. Are you willing to participate? Oh, are you drunk, man? Are you drunk? Hold on, pause. Okay. So I have to let you know that I am streaming. You're not audible or visible right now. Is that okay? Alrighty.
It's over here.
Alright, everything's working fine. Perfect.
Cheers.
Yeah, well,
Alrighty.
Figure out the enunciation tabarnak. what would you like to ask?
Okay, so
I can't see shit.
I guess I'll start off light and we can get a little bit more spicy as things go on. So what is your opinion on like group public worlds?
Absolutely amazing. That's how you meet your best friends, to be honest with you. Hell yeah. This is how I met this guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They're
For
a
the most
mess.
part,
They're a fucking
I've
mess.
been playing for-
And that's where you find
Hell
the
yeah.
best people, like this person here.
This is what it is. You need to keep everything open. If you shut down the world to a specific like Discord group, you're not gonna have the diversity of
retardation
people
that
that
you
you
can get.
require. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
drunk.
but
Fuck
when you say like something like just like a normal public
yeah.
instance, does that well?
So a normal
This is a-
public instance. Let's give you an example.
I'm taking a sip.
gonna
I'm
give
taking a
you
sip of water.
we're gonna give you an example, okay?
Do it.
So
Alright.
the vast majority of the time, when one of me and Gabriel's friends are online,
I don't know how I feel about him being
his
drunk.
name is
I sort of want to
Shallow
like. I sort of want to
Grave,
question
so
this
we
guy,
keep
but he's
this
like.
shit open to
Yeah.
the public because we want more people to experience the kind of music that we play.
Okay.
So we keep it. If you keep it open,
Yeah, I don't know.
More
what's
people-
special. What's special about group publics and in comparison to like normal publics then?
because the problem is. What? I'm sorry. What do you mean? What do you mean group publics? No.
So group
no,
publics
no,
is a
it's
public.
just public.
Yeah, the world instance group public, a public instance run by a group.
No, fuck that.
Don't-
No, we
So
don't do
far.
that. It's absolutely open. Fuck all that.
Dog, we
Yeah.
in a group
How
public
does
right
this
now.
one?
No,
Yeah,
I
we're in a group
apologize. I
public
may
right
have
now.
misunderstood. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I may have misunderstood where you were going with that. No,
Friday
as
night,
long
baby.
as it needs to be
Yeah,
open.
Friday night in a
Absolutely,
nutshell.
completely open. Apologies. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you want to update your answer? I guess.
Fuck group public events. Put it open to everybody so that everybody can experience the kind of music like the people in the world who are interested in. You know what I mean? That's
And
it.
we
I'm
mostly
extremely
come from
drunk.
the background
Hell yeah.
of
Yeah, I noticed. Do you have Paladin? Do you have anything to say on this in
I've been-
specific? I'm not sure how I feel about talking
So
about
far-
to a drunk person. I'm gonna be honest.
So far,
Wow,
I've been playing for
everybody
maybe
here
2
is
months.
drunk.
It seems
Okay.
like I'm starting to get fucked, but
Okay,
I can still
okay,
make coherent
perfect.
sentences
Perfect.
to a point. I've been playing for maybe 2 or 3 months. Like,
All right.
just started, essentially just started. It seems so far like group publics are a little more chill. You get less of a range of gamers in group publics, which for good and bad. Like, you can get just a bunch of whack gamers or a bunch of cool gamers. While with
Yeah.
public worlds, that range is way fucking bigger. You get frame one racism. I've joined I've joined public
Guys,
black
love
cats.
frame one. It's
Frame
like
one inward.
not. It's happening before you're joining. It's like minutes
Okay.
before. It's just
Yeah.
always happening. It's constant.
Okay.
The range of
Okay.
fuck shit varies.
Significantly.
Melina, I got you. Let me rephrase this.
That's the
in a
motherfucker
way
from
that is
Elmer.
Succinct and to the point. Okay, I got you. Don't worry.
All right.
Okay.
Succinct and to the point.
Randoms. Yes, randoms join worlds to experience different kind of musics. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Okay, so I have a question. I have a question in terms.
In a way. That was
Alright.
that was so long to answer one question. Holy shit.
Okay. Hear me out.
I'm trying
Thing
to
is,
fucking like.
thing is, it all depends what kind of
understandable, big
place
dog.
you are choosing for your quote-unquote event, right? In terms of like group or pure public, because, like, for example, Black Cat,
That Caitlin from League
you
of
are
Legends.
almost guaranteed that if you open the public Black Cat, you will have bullshit happening frame one when you join.
Oh,
Yeah.
Um, so
So y-
if you like narrow down,
We're
the
not
stuff,
here for the
right?
Black Cat. We're not here for that.
Yes.
is it safe to say that
if
like
you-
there's like certain expectations people go into certain worlds with?
Yes, yes,
Absolutely.
because Black Cat
Absolutely.
is
Oh, yeah.
known
Oh, yeah.
like, from having like entire fucking
Degeneracy.
kaleidoscope of bullshit. Not only degeneracy, but it's most like people who are joining VRChat for the first time with their fresh new Quest headsets
Yes.
without connecting them to
Yup,
PC,
yup.
Yes. Yes.
and they will like start to like do the typical fucking bullshit that Quest users are known for.
Yup.
But if you will go to a
So, hold on.
civilized,
Yes.
quote-unquote civilized instance, for example,
Like this.
we are
Civilized
organizing
in this
stuff,
fuck
right?
ass game.
Exactly. Like, for example,
the reality of the situation is like the vast majority of people joining this world are new to this situation. So
exactly, they don't have the
Gabriel and
like, proper experience yet.
Gabriel and I, we have met our best friends in like not in fucking Black Cat, not even close. We
that's
we
unfortunate.
Fucking. Well, that's absolutely not unfortunate. What do you?
Bro, Black Cat's fucking peak, bro. You can make like a whole range of characters here, bro.
No,
What do you mean?
Jesus,
It's-
fucking great. How many hours do you have on this bitch? Because I.
3,000. 3,000. All right.
And you still. Holy
This shit-
shit! All right.
I don't
Why
believe
are you
that for a
asking
second.
opinions? Why are you asking opinions? You already know immediately. Fuck me.
I know some things. I want to hear more shit, dude. I want to hear more fucking like views.
Okay, no, that.
I mean, I understand.
That's respectable. That's
I
respectable.
understand
Hell yeah.
because I based my master degree around interactions in VR.
Jesus Christ.
Um,
Are you serious?
That's actually super interesting.
Thing is, like, for example, because like
Masters in
mostly what we
They're
do at
masters in
Friday nights
communications
is
or
we
something?
organize synthwave themed parties in Orion. So, like, you know, since Orion is not available for certain common denominators.
Questies.
Exactly. Thing is, like, you know, we
That's a
don't
motherfucking
have
cube.
the like the basic, like, you know, basic level of people who just joined. We have like people who actually like, invested into VR and like they are ready to like embrace it instead of just like, you know, new.
So you do think there's like a bias towards like quote unquote tomfoolery or like
What the fuck?
other like chaotic behaviors towards people who are like new to VR?
A little bit yes, because they still treat it more like a place to just like, you know, be a dingus than someone who actually like did the research and like, you know, invested in time into it and like decided to, okay, I want to try it, I want to like see how it is and not treat it like a video game but more like a social platform.
Cheers.
Right?
Cheers, brother. Let's go.
So do you
Something like
think it would be a fair statement to say that it would be the level of investment that
Don't
would
judge me. I love you. Mwah. Thank you.
determine somebody's like
Don't worry.
what's a
I'm
good
fucking
term for this? A level of tomfoolery.
Drink some water. Jesus Christ.
No.
Let me
fuck
think.
off, no. I love you.
It all depends how serious you want to treat it. If it's more about like trolling some random people on the internet and being a menace, or like actually wanting to develop serious connections and like actually wanting to like, for example, I know, make friends or like show yourself up to the like more wide audience, quote unquote.
Okay, so when you say it depends on the intentions of the person, right? Let's say somebody's like playing the game exclusively to be like a quote unquote menace, as you said, right? Would it be fair to say if somebody, if that person meets somebody who's doing something similar to what they're doing, to be like fair to say they would be more likely to like form like friendships that way too, right?
Okay, apologies.
I guess, yeah.
Did
Yeah,
both
so-
of you motherfuckers just spend 10 minutes trying to form fucking bond against like negativity? What the fuck? Give me the blackness. Give me the blackness. Fuck. Come by.
I got in here and this guy was so fucked up. Hey, you see
Jesus.
how long has this motherfucker been drinking? You was with him. You was in. How long has this motherfucker been drinking?
All day, probably. My guess, from the sound of it.
Holy.
6 hours. Fuck me. Let's go.
Oh yeah. That's my.
It's understandable, okay? It's 11
You blowing
a.m.
a hole
for
through your
him.
chest, dog.
Something
Oh,
like this,
okay,
right?
never mind. Yeah, never mind. Understandable. It's 10 p.m. for me.
PM. But yes, correct.
10:30, there we go. Like,
All right,
the
so
fun part.
It's
so if you
only
believe,
11.
okay, so if it's possible for somebody to like have like relationships in this game, even if they're like trolling or whatever, then this statement that like the level of investment probably wouldn't be a good like determiner of like your like I guess like ability to cause chaos. Then no.
Wow, that's sick.
I mean,
How
thing is,
deep do you
people
want to
who
go?
want
Because
to
that's like
cause
my actual
chaos
brother.
will clock
yeah.
right, I don't know, 10 hours, 15 hours, and they will be like, enough. That's like, that's enough, right?
You
They'll
think that's
just hop in
necessarily
for 30
true?
minutes. I think so, yeah, because like
Okay.
Why y'all so
most of the people
soft?
who cause chaos will like jump in for a second and then they will leave. I mean,
Well.
quote unquote second, right? They will stay, for example, like,
We got
15,
a
20 hours
interview
max.
going on here.
And
Ah,
then they will
Paladin,
like
don't
drop the
worry.
game
Why-
at
why
all
you
because
good,
like
you good.
they will be
You
just
know,
bored
you
with
know
it
what, you
because
I'm
like
chilling,
there's
dog.
enough fun that you can
I
get
know,
from
you're the
trolling
same
people.
as me. Fuck, I won't
And
do that.
the people who like actually want to stay here and like actually
This is the first time I've
invest the time into it, they won't be a menace. At least I think so.
So what do you
Maybe
think about the,
from
the
time to
VR
time,
chat like
because-
trolling community? Because like I feel like that's a pretty major part now of like
and that's hilarious.
it's a pretty like big underbelly of the community now. So like what do you
Why y'all
do you
so
have
I
to say
mean,
to that?
if we're talking about like communities dedicated to it,
Sorry.
they may be trolling, but after all, if this is like the organized group, they are community, right? So they are participating in what the agent is. They're making a community, especially made for that.
Hold on.
All right, yeah, exactly what he said.
Nah, just mute the autistic.
Yeah, but thing is, if it's a community that is dedicated to like trolling people, they're actually a community and they're participating in what VRChat is. So they're making
Yeah.
friendships, quote unquote here. Yeah, they're making an entire group dedicated to that. So they're doing, to be honest, what the game is all about. So they're making friends who are centered around like pissing off the people in the mirror. And they're actually like, having fun and they participate in it and like they're within themselves, right?
Okay,
They're making a community.
that makes
So-
that makes sense. That makes sense. So
Yeah, even
back
if
on topic of the like the group publics, right? Do you think like what is your opinion on like moderation of group publics? Like what are like some things that you like if you were had like control of a public group instance, what would be like the key like tenets you would like moderate under?
I mean public and group related stuff, if you combine those two,
This just flew at me.
I feel like for the most part it kind of should be an advertisement for the group so more people could join, and it should be like it all depends on what kind of group is this, right? Because for example, if we are just partying and shit, obviously we won't like enjoy
Wait, did
the
you say it
fact that
depends on
someone
the
would
kind
feel
of world it
chaos.
is?
The kind of world and group, right? Because like for example, wait, let me just turn on the earmuff mode because like, there's like, too much happening around.
Yeah. I have earmuff mode constantly. I can't play this game without it.
There we go. If, for example, the public instance is created by the shitpost group who is all about trolling and, for example, creating stuff that is like solely related to trolling, obviously they would love to have as wide group as they can.
I ain't saying my fucking state. I'm on
But
the East Coast.
if, as my internal scores, it's more about just like vibing and like chilling and like making a party that is centered, for example, in our case, around the synthwave type of music in Orion, we won't enjoy anyone who's like being disruptive, right?
Yeah, no, that's
So it
actually
all
fire.
fucking depends on the type of people the group wants to include.
Okay, so
So it's not like strictly black and white. It's all about
yeah,
like,
that's
the,
true. That's true. I agree.
grayness.
Do you think that there should be some like what's the how do I want to word this? there should be like any like required or requirements from moderation of group publics.
Kinda. I mean, the only moderation should be the theme. If, like, you know, the theme should gate the type of people that, like, you know, are participating in the event or like join the instance. So if the group is all about trolling, making like shitpost avatars and memes, they will want to like include as much of like likewise minded people. So
Yeah.
the people who will be up to shitpost and like annoy people in the mirror, and the people who will be into like really like, pointed type of interests, for example the synthwave enjoyers, they will be people who will have fun in that type of music, and they won't like enjoy anyone who will be like either disruptive to the party or like, you know, being all negative about, oh, this kind of music sucks, and start to criticize. So it all depends just on the vibe and type of the group. At least I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay. So you think that doesn't really answer the question, like, because I agree with you in terms of all of that. Like the question I'm sort of like posing is, do you think there should be requirements from group to group, like irregardless of goal or vision?
Open your radio menu on your controller.
Kinda yes, but yes, actually yes, but the group will dictate what kind of like, you know, margin we're talking about, right? If we're talking about massive margin, as in like we're just a community, or like thin margin, like we are centered around one specific thing, because despite of like how everything goes, there needs to be a little bit of order in everything, right?
Yeah.
Cohesion.
But
Cohesion is the word you're looking for. Absolutely, yes.
could be.
Cohesion, yes. Wait,
Okay,
I'm
that's at
sorry.
least
What,
what I think.
I wasn't here for the situation. What's happening? I'm really drunk. Apologies. Hell yeah.
To sum it up,
Mhm.
group bullshit is like requiring the group interest from people who want to join, and the group dictates like how wide or thin it should be, right? For example, the shit
I respect
group
this guy pretty
wants
heavy. He seems pretty
like,
smart.
every
That's
single
exactly the
dumbass
word,
who
yes.
wants to like disrupt the creative chaos. But for example, us synth enjoyers, we want to focus on people who wants
We
to
got them
listen
sick,
to
nasty
synthwave.
vibes. Hell yeah.
Exactly.
No,
And we won't
precisely.
enjoy
That's
anyone who's trying to
precisely.
disrupt the party. Yeah.
I guess my one curiosity
That's why
is like you're like
Absolutely.
dictating like
But
the
there
quote unquote
needs to
margin
be,
of people that are
like,
joining.
to the
Like
vibe
say
of
you're
the
doing a
group.
troll thing, right?
There we go.
This is
Should there be like
this is the
obligations to
exact
have
word that you're
like an
looking for.
openness
Group
to it,
cohesion.
right?
There we
This
go.
is what it is.
Because the group
Hell
created
yeah.
for everyone is a group created for no one.
Yeah, I agree with
Correct,
that.
correct.
But like, do you think like, in terms of moderation, right? I sort of agree when you're saying like, oh, like, depending on what vibes you're going for, you want to like kick certain kinds of people. But do you think there's at least some like obligation to like keep that door open, like, or like have like a like pretty lax policy, I guess?
Define
for example,
open door.
how
Define open door.
moderators are like enforcing it.
Yeah. Because like,
Hold on.
whenever I see like public
Define open
instances,
door.
So I'll just reiterate the question. I agree in terms like groups have like a want to like keep things into the like the vibe they're going for. Say a trolling group wanting like everybody under the sun so they can like poke fun at them, right? Or a like hangout
No.
spot being like more chill, so they're gonna kick out people who are disruptive, right? So if that is the case,
Yeah, I get
if
it.
that
I
is
get
the
it. I
case,
get it. No,
Right.
nobody within the situation is trying to kick anybody. If you are happy
I'm not
as you
saying
are
that.
as a
I'm not
human
saying-
being,
I'm not
that's
saying
it.
that they are.
from my perspective,
Why?
the
Why
further
is
we
my wife
go
beating me?
into
What
the
the
like,
fuck? love you.
like
Yo, Melina.
centered theme, for example, right? The more it should be like allowed
Here,
to
there you go.
not
Ready,
include
there
certain
you go.
people. So,
Yeah.
for example,
Right here.
for a group that is
Come
like
here.
only collecting VRChat players, the moderation shouldn't be like absolutely strict. But the further we go with the like type of interest we're like going into, the more it should be enforced. So if like group is, for example, absolutely focused on one thing, if someone's not like, into the thing that the group is following, the moderation should be able to like, cross that person out. But if the group is all about like, really wide like type of interest or like, type of activities they do, the less strict the moderation should be.
Okay, so
least
it depends on like
that's
how
our side.
like how much they want to enforce like the vibe they're trying to go for, right? What you're saying.
The enforcement of the rules should go proportionally up with the like how to say it, specialization of the group, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna make a claim. I'm not gonna like hard stake this. Can be easily swayed here. It's like, let's say we have a group that has like a very extreme like want to do like a certain kind of vibe. Let's say they just want to chill the fuck out. Maybe they're like stoners or something, and they will and want to take out anybody that are even slightly deviant from that goal. So they are extreme, like, basically like the maximum in terms of strictness, in terms of like enforcing the vibe, right? So I would argue that would be very negative towards a public space.
Okay, hold on. Please let me
Public
interrupt you.
space.
So I feel like
very sorry.
if you're trying to do a
very
public space, as in the name group public, that it ought be like more lax or not as
Okay.
like strict.
So if it's a public event,
Please,
give me a
please
second.
Please let me explain.
A second.
Okay, do your thing.
If
I'm
it's a
following.
public event organized by the group, I feel like it should be relaxed at least a little bit. Like,
I'm not saying
at least-
chaos. I'm not saying chaos. No.
not chaos, but it should be relaxed a little bit. So people who are kinda interested in the thing should like dip the toes in it, but not like get fully immersed.
Baby,
To like, convince them. to
Yeah, what I'm
join the
saying
stuff.
is let's say we have a group public and they are basically like moderating to the point where you would have to be immersed or you won't be able to participate. An example I would give would be like the Little Worlds. It's like you have to like do a little bit of role playing to even be engaged in that kind of world at all.
For public bullshit, it should be like 50% of like pure engagement and like 50% of being open to the like new people.
Okay, so once you guys are done, please tell me so that I can sort you out like once and for all. Figure it out. Do your thing.
You sound, bro, like, do you hate me or something? Like, I'm sorry.
I don't hate you. I don't hate you. But your ignorance is extreme. It's fascinating.
I'm
It's
just
fucking
asking questions,
fascinating.
man.
2 seconds.
No, you're not. You're not.
Yes, I am. What do you mean?
You're saying, okay.
Wait. What am I being ignorant about? What am I being ignorant about?
No, my guy. Like, yo.
Wait, what am I being ignorant
Sexuality is a
about?
goddamn spectrum. Sexuality is a goddamn spectrum. Baby, come here, please. Come here. What do you mean you don't wanna?
Okay,
Stop,
but
no.
to like some of the points.
It's not a
even
fucking
is-
black and white situation. This is a
I'm just trying. I'm just
goddamn
trying to get you to
fucking
explain.
gray
I'm
situation.
trying to get you to explain your worldview. Like I'm trying to like open
My
dialogue
worldview.
here.
My world.
Yeah.
You want my worldview? As long as everybody's happy,
I'm
everything will be fine. Not a big deal.
I'm just trying to like poke people's brains in terms of
Very
how they
simple.
think about things and how they should. I obviously have some of my beliefs, and that's why I'm like I
My
claim I like
wife
soft thing. Like, I
loves the
don't.
pussy. That's what
Okay.
it is. She
Alright,
loves
man.
that pussy. Hell yeah.
Okay.
hell
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to like I just want to say like I feel like you're being really like extreme. Like I'm not being ignorant in anything. You have yet to like show how I've been ignorant here. So
We're not about extremity, but like if you want to have this conversation, extreme is kind of required.
yeah.
It's
It's
gonna
it's,
get weird.
it's the only
It's
reason I'm
gonna
being
get weird.
extreme is so we
That's
can
what
like
it is.
outline what is and what is not, right? So we can like have a more like
wife
detailed
just
view on
grabbed
how we think about
my
things, right?
cock. It was weird. So yeah. So this is the situation.
Okay, whatever.
This
It's
is the
not worth it, it's not
this
worth
is
it.
the reality of the situation.
It's not worth it.
Cool, that's great. Oh, I'm not worth it. Okay, cool. All right, cool. This is the reality. If
With
you
all due
have a
respect,
healthy relationship-
you're drunk, and I can't really have an actual good back and forth with you.
Yeah, that's
Like drink
cool.
some water
That's
or
ignorant.
something, man. If you want to have this conversation, drink some water, grab some food. Like
Oh, look at that smile on your face. That's cute. Anyway, please pay attention when I'm trying to say. Please pay attention when I'm trying to
I
say.
am.
My dear, please don't do that. It's not gonna help. I'm trying to like explain people the situation.
To sum up,
I'm trying to
the
cool.
thing I was talking about.
Yeah. Hold on. Pay attention.
public
Pay
events,
My fucking relationship with my wife isn't. It is not the default situation. No, not even close. Not even close. Not even close. Okay.
Oh, you're doing okay.
okay.
though?
So what are you gonna say, Gabriel?
doing okay?
I have him very low. Like I'm being.
Yo, internal, you doing
For
okay?
groups
I'm doing
that are doing
absolutely wonderful.
public
Apparently,
stuff.
this one
Oh,
here-
it
Yeah,
should be
very good.
50-50
So let me explain.
It should
you
be
the
50-50
in
situation.
terms of
Explain the
Okay,
how
yeah,
should
explain
it
it
be
to me, 'cause
So
like
this
enforced.
one here is like, oh, you don't
Stick
know
groups
how the reality of the situation is. And
should
then
be
I'm
absolutely
trying
enforced
to fucking give them
in
the
terms of the
reality
vibes
of
they
the
need to.
situation.
But for public,
And they
Exactly, because you
fucking-
got a real life wife.
Okay.
Uh huh. Exactly.
But for public-
Okay, I see.
Okay.
it should be lighted a
Where the
little
hell is he
bit.
mad?
Lighted.
Is he mad at?
So more people could like get into it
Bro, what?
and inspect it
Hey,
and
yeah,
decide if
If I
it's
was
something
this
for them.
person right here, bro.
So you said something earlier that I found really interesting. It's like
Listen
it
to
should
me,
be an
bro. If I was this girl
advertisement,
right here, I would listen
and it
to
depends
every
on what
single
kind of
advice
world
you
and what kind of
got.
group, right? So I guess I'm posing to you,
You know what, bro?
is that if it
Sign me up,
should
bro.
be an
Sign me up, bro.
advertisement, and there is a kind of group that
me up,
is
bro.
extreme enough
I
where
respect you,
that
bro, and I
requires
hope I
some
end up to
level
be like
of
you,
like
bro, 'cause I wanna
role
get married
play
so bad,
or
bro.
like immense immersion to engage with honestly. Would you think that would be a good thing, or do you think that should be a
Oh,
thing?
I ain't. I'm gonna listen to the guy that has the real
Mm.
wife because you know what's up. And
With
you
role
have more experience
plays,
than I do. You
the
have more
only
experience,
type of
bro.
like, you know,
Alright.
events I managed to notice was like, you know, the recruitments
W,
were
man.
like
Yo,
few,
this
for
guy,
example,
I'm talking to this guy about this guy right here.
few representatives were like
He's
setting
showing-
up
he's getting his
the
wife right now.
Man.
a fucking stand in the middle of the world, and they were trying to like convince people, oh, join this and join that and stuff like this. Like it was like not a planned event in terms of like, you know, an instance that was like purely group organized. It was more like a random act of, hey, let's advertise our group, and they were just like pulling up and like showing up with avatars that have the like desks and like fucking like lists and petitions to like show up to people. So I don't know how it would look like on like, you know, the actual like instances made by them. It was more about like just joining into it and like, you know, just like trying to steal a little bit of space for themselves. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that last half? I had to like fucking ban something in my chat.
I got a flask of Crown
Hey, it's fine, fine.
I appreciate that. That's how I'm trying
With groups that are heavy into, like, for example, roleplay, and like really centered both they will less likely make entire instance for themselves, and they're more likely to just go there with avatars that are specialized in like advertisement of the group. They will just set themselves up on the site and they will start to advertise bullshit. And if someone will be like, okay, that's something for me, they will just approach and start like talking with them, and they'll be convinced about it.
Yeah, that would be like in a perfect world, right? But like, so I'm gonna like pose the example of like the little space. You know what that is? Like basically like doing age role play, I guess.
Age roleplay. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that sounds dangerous.
So it's a very like extreme thing, and like sort of requires some level of buy-in to engage into like that kind of lobby.
Dude, this fucking model is
Right.
hilarious. I can't see
But
shit from here
more
down.
times than not, it's a entire world, like it's an entire world type, and it's
I fucking
public to everybody,
shut up,
right?
big motherfuckers. I love it. It's the best. This John is from Armored Core.
Your voice kind of matches it, bro.
Damn, because like the thing is, I never managed to like wander upon such a instance where it was like entirely catered towards one group. But
I mean, like Club Worlds is another good example of like it's like sort of biased towards a specific thing, right?
It's just, it's so worth being.
yeah, I mean,
But this is just an extreme example
As
of
long-
that. So I was sort of wondering your like thoughts on that.
That's what I'm saying.
Really?
as god damn it, I didn't think.
Exactly. No, because I understand you, bro.
If you join an instance that is like labeled grapple league, you should be prepared for the fact that people who like set the instance up won't enjoy if you join there just for the sake of joining it. If you join like strictly public, then you're free to
I'm about to hop into
do
a
as
Oh, here we go.
much as you want, whatever you want.
I'm 19 years old, bro, and I'm
But you will see that group pass, for example, you should be ready for the consequences that if it will be something like not into the creed of the group, you can be shunned.
That makes
So
sense.
that's like, you know, that's the norm that they set, and without those, it will be just a mess, right? So
Yeah.
just be ready that
Yes, sir.
public is public and group public is like, okay, this will be some sorts of how to say it, sponsored event. So
Fair
you
enough,
should
fair
be
enough.
ready to, like, you know.
So I'm gonna give you like one more like extreme example that may not really exist, but I just sort of want to like hear like the theoretical here. And we can move on to something else if you want.
Hey, you got.
All good?
Bro, think about it.
All right.
Go.
So for let's say we're like in a black hat, right? And we have like a group, some like Bob's fucking like simp squad, right?
Oh, I love being Drew.
Yeah, and basically they are like banning people that like aren't like within like this like in group or aren't acting towards like this like in group's like favor, right? Like an example I would give would be like, let's say Bob really just like
I'm out.
what's it? I'm struggling here. Give me a sec. Like Bob like really just like
I
fucking
understand.
like jokes or something like that, and if you're not like joking around or whatever, it's just sort of fucked, right?
I understand, and what I think is it might be fucking retarded if you look at this from the perspective of a person who just joined, for example, the world, the instance that the group is organizing, but it's still the Grub Plus, and like it's still connected to the group. So you should be ready to like
I mean, how do you know?
not be looked at. Isn't it like labeled in the like world?
Not always.
list and stuff?
In this example, this is like Bob's Simp group, right? You the only thing you'd like be like looking into this is like, okay, this is a Bob's world, I guess, and then that's about it.
Okay, here, take this shit, because otherwise you ain't remember it in the fuck. Never mind. Shit, hold on, I'll just take it. I can fucking get it. You ain't remember none of this, big dog.
I mean, it's stupid that you can like. It takes a moment to inspect if you are joining the pure public instance or if you are joining something else, right?
Elden Ring, a Crucible,
It should be
Hollow Knight,
like
baby,
telegraphed much more because like still if it's a group who created the instance and it kinda is labeled as the group in the like world list,
Yeah.
you should be ready to be shunned for like things that are not in the creed of the group. But if
Yeah,
it's
so
a
it's a-
public instance, like purely public instance,
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what the group is about. It doesn't matter like the systems in place within the group. Like for example, like an authoritarian kind of thing where one person has like the call and everything, right? So that doesn't matter as long as you're aware that it's like a group instance and you will and can be kicked from for any reason at any time, right? As long as you're aware of that.
it might sound like rough around the edges, but just treat where you join.
Yeah, I agree.
If
You should
you,
have like
like-
some awareness of what you're joining
Exactly.
before you join it.
Exactly. Like if you will see that you are joining the group X like created instance, you should be ready that it will be about the group and not about like
Yeah, so I
Public
think I agree with you, but like here's a little bit of a tougher question. Do you think groups like that should exist or should be in like public spaces?
yeah, I think I do because like after all we are all like people and we're like allowed to create groups and we should be allowed to like as long as it's like nothing too maybe it's controversial because controversial stuff is also needed but illegal.
Yeah, like what if like a
should
Nazi
be able
group
to,
was
like,
just
you know-
here like making groups like every day and they were getting like traction, right?
Warframe avatars in this fuck-ass game, there was none. Well, that's not true. There was a couple.
Like they were like certified Nazis or something. That's a group title.
Skin for Frost. That one looked sick as fuck. I didn't
Certified Nazis? Yeah, that sounds rough around the edges for sure.
impulse bought that shit.
That doesn't sound like something that should be like propagated
Just like intermittently playing it, just hopping on every now and then. Fucking
in a like
Getting closer,
strictly
but not really.
public world. Just the public. Like for example, the group is invading the public instance, just like taking it for themselves. If they want to gather in like a labeled group that is like strictly showing them, okay, let them just stay there. At least they will stay in their own place. Like they won't like fucking invade the others. They can just sit in their little clique. They will just sit there. And if they're not crossing the line of invading like actual public stuff, let them sit there. Let them sit in their own little echo chamber. Because there are still people. There are still people who have like their own opinions. And if they want to sit with themselves, let them sit with themselves. Because by that they won't be
I disagree with this pretty
trying
heavily, but I
to
don't
like,
argue.
fucking invade the spaces that are not into them.
Okay,
Same with other
so
groups, like on the other side of the spectrum. I mean, like, I'm like the free speech absolutist. Like, it's mostly because of like the nationality that I am in.
yeah,
Like,
I see,
little
I
bit
see.
off from the charts,
So
but I feel like
I,
as long as it's
I'm
labeled
hearing
as-
your answer to this. It's pretty interesting. So it's like you think it should exist, and it's like these echo like. Do you think these echo chambers are necessary, or like are like, do you think they will exist no matter what?
Yes, they will exist no matter what. If it will be like labeled as dangerous or slash banned, or if it will be allowed. But at least when they're allowed, they won't feel a push to like invade the other spaces because they won't feel pressured. They won't feel, for example, shunned by as much. So they will just like keep to themselves. And they will stay there.
Okay, I
So
think
if you
I think
like,
I hear
for
what
example-
you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Public versus group public servers, and then
So
Okay,
I
that-
guess
that-
where
that's what
where
it
I'm
is.
curious then is like, going back to like the Bob example. This is a slightly less extreme than certified Nazis, but still. In this case, it's like even if they're like necessarily promoting like an echo chamber that is like pretty, like, I guess small in this case because it would be just one guy and like a couple of his friends, right? Or whoever is like fucking with their friends. That would be like perfectly fine in this conceptualization of like what the role of group publics are.
That's where the ability to read what you join is, because like if you will see a group public instance, for example, that will be labeled as the certified Nazis hotspot, join us for some hot sweet action.
Yeah,
It
a
will be
hot local Nazis in your area.
exactly like
Oh fuck.
only the people who are like likewise minded will join it, and no one who will be like, at least I hope that no one who will be like all about not into this kind of stuff. They just won't join, they will just fucking like pass it and like go for their way. So like, let them have their own like little spot where they can gather. Same with like other sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, but so if it isn't clearly labeled, then you have an issue.
Yes, it should be just labeled, right? So, like, I know, like, isn't it's like I'm just like joining every single Friday, and that's mostly all for now. But if the group had, like, the virtual groups, like the actual labeled groups, if they like create an instance and if it's labeled properly, and the person who wants to like join a World X, for example, and they are choosing the instance they want to join, they should be like absolutely 100% like
I'm inviting the other chicks, but they don't want
in a knowledge what they are joining, if this
Okay.
is like the pure public instance or if it's like the instance made by a certain group. Yeah.
Okay, so then I'm gonna like pose the question again. So should that like Bob's simp group exist in like a public group sense, in like a group public sense?
Sure, let them exist. As long as they're not like interrupting anyone of this and they're not being like bitchy about absolutely in like pure public instances. Sure, let them be.
Okay.
But if they will be like preachy and like if they will act like God knows who in a strictly public instance, they deserve to be like pushed back.
So let's say we have
So
like a
it's all-
trolling, like this is a hypothetical here. Let's say like a trolling YouTuber, right, makes a group. I don't know, fucking John this time. Like John's like John simp group, same thing, but this in this example, like they're the entire like I guess John's community is a bunch of like shit posters and like chaotic people, right? And like henceforth, so, like if they're like engaging with the game more so, more often, right? They're probably not only going to join like John's simp group, right? They're going to join other worlds too. Right?
That's
At
why
that
the
point.
block button exists. That's why the mute button exists. And if such a group will join and start to like harass people, you just block them. That's the magic that VRChat allows you, and the real life is not allowing you. And I know it from the first hand, since like I'm Polish, right? Yeah, like we have a decent conversation in terms of like the like group related bullshit. So yeah, for example, for real life bullshit, like I'm Polish. We recently had a problem with like one specific Eastern TikToker who was like acting like a absolute fucking moron and like harassing the fucking people who are working in the
Yeah.
malls and like shops and stuff. And like this is real life. What can I do? Like fucking go there and fucking cap him? I would gladly, because like he's a fucking
Yeah,
moron.
block him in real
But
life. Get
I
a
shouldn't.
Glock and then
Exactly.
that was a joke. That was a joke.
Not that I have my 45 like right here, but but yeah, that's the thing. Like in VR chat, you can just block those people, and you're done with them. You don't have to
Yeah.
pay attention to them. Just like, and that's all.
This is.
So-
I'm gonna say something soft here again. I can be very easily swayed. So let's say this in this case, right? Like the block mute button exists, right? I agree with you. It should be used, especially if somebody's being like unnecessarily chaotic, or like sampling on your vibe, right? The claim then would be is like that should there be some onus on the individual to try to encourage like certain behaviors from the people around them.
My controller died.
I
Which
think
would
that
include
it's
trolls.
mostly about remembering the fact that the one's freedom ends where the other's freedom begins.
Yeah.
And the trolls, for example, the trolls, they need to bear with that they can be blocked, right? If you'll start to cause chaos around, for some people it will be absolutely enjoyable. Like for example, I love to see some of the chaos evolving around around me in VR chat, because it's just fun. It gives you a little bit of color to this boring place where a lot of people are just sitting in front of the mirror and doing batshit nothing, right? It's just fucking fun to see
Yeah, real.
bullshit evolving around.
Okay.
But if someone is absolutely being fucking retard about it, they should be aware that they were gonna get blocked and nobody will see what they're causing. And we just cause them to stop the action. And
Okay,
stop
so
to-
I understand what you're saying, but the question is the yes or no is does the person have an onus to encourage certain behavior around them? For example, let's say there is you're just chilling talking with somebody and somebody's being chaotic. Instead of muting or blocking, should you have the onus in a social setting to try to get that person to calm down and engage with you on a certain level? And after that point,
On one hand, you should be able to, but on the other, who the hell is that person? You just don't care about them, right? It's just a fucking random. And you will just fucking block them.
I'm not saying you're not
what is the
justified,
reason
but I'm
for it,
saying should we be doing more?
Hey, you guys, look at the floor really quick. Look in the floor.
Well,
Just perfect. There it is. But yeah,
Somebody crying in the
I'm
bathroom.
not a rock.
I
Step back.
feel like you if you'll start to preach to them that they shouldn't do that and start to oh, you should do this and that instead, it kind of smells with the fact
yeah, I'm not
being
saying you
up too
necessarily
much
have
in
to
your
preach.
ass.
I'm not saying that you necessarily have to preach too. Notice what happened in this conversation, right? You're all over joking a little bit. I walked up and I was like, "Hey, can I ask a couple of questions?" It was a lighthearted and got progressively more serious and more brain engaging, right? That isn't some. I at no point did I preach. At no point did I do anything like this, right? So theoretically, right? Let's say somebody's doing being chaotic, right? it's like muting or blocking. There are things we can do to like say like get them to calm down or try to engage with you on a more like person to person level.
So that's the thing. If we get back to the topic you like asked about the groups, right?
Yeah.
If it's a group, it could be encouraged. With the groups, it could be encouraged because, like, you know, after all, it's not just one person that has a problem, but entire community. So they should be able to like talk it out. But if it's like on a personal level, it should be more like gravitating towards the either ban or like one time saying that stop doing this. At least I
Fair
think so.
enough. I feel like in an
it's more about like the size.
I don't know. In an ideal world where like everybody's being like rational, I feel like you're right. Where it should be a one-time thing, right? It's like, hey, can you stop doing this, and they stop doing it, right? Or they keep doing it, and you cut
I
them
have
off.
too much
right?
faith in humanity.
I am sort of getting that. I feel like I have a little bit too much faith here. Like even in the real world, right? Let's say you have a friend, right? And he's like being a little bit of a dickhead towards you. And it's like, hey, can you stop doing this? It's like, okay, I'll try, right? Like most people aren't like wired to like just flip an immediate switch, right? It's progressive.
No. It's progressive. It's absolutely progressive, and it depends on the person that you're talking to. If they will catch it in a matter of like few steps, or fucking multiple steps, and like tons of like explaining why they are fucking retarded for doing this.
Yeah,
So-
but what we're talking about, like, we're not talking about like specific actions. We're talking about like entire like quote unquote vibes, right? Which like would be like how much energy do you have? Like what kind of words are you saying? Like this isn't like, hey, I don't like when you call me a bitch. Can you stop calling me a bitch? It's a little bit different. And I would argue like unreasonable to ask of somebody to say, hey, can you just switch up your entire vibe, right? I feel like that requires more effort on both on your part and the other parties. Requires both
True,
sides.
but I mean, the worst part is that it all like really depends on the person on the other side, right? Like some people will have tougher skin, some people won't. Like some people will be used to, for example, being like, okay, one more bullshit you'll say, you're getting blocked. Or someone will like keep taking it to themselves and like, you know, feeding on that. So that's the worst part. It all depends on the fucking person.
Yeah.
That motherfucker got no armor on. You can't do that. Well, you could, but it's rude.
I wish I hadn't hit them.
Alles gut. How they say in Germany. I should know because I'm Polish. But yeah, at least that's how my like sitting on that looks like.
Okay, yeah. I would go a step further in saying that like we should like encourage like that kind of thing. That's why I'm doing a lot of what I'm doing now. But we can sort of cap that if we want. We can get into something a little bit different if you're down with that. I don't know if you have something to do or not. So
just mind you that it's 6 a.m. for me. And
yeah.
like, I'm not
That's what
gonna be,
what
like,
I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know if you have something to do or whatever. So I'm down to keep going if you're willing to keep going. Keep going. Hurts.
Depends how deep you want to get into it.
It's gonna be a pretty like it's basically just be like prescriptive. It's gonna be like a pretty basic question, I think.
Go on, shoot it.
Okay, so do you believe that there is such things as a VR chat pipeline?
Yes, absolutely. It will happen, especially now that, like, you know, there's bigger and like, you know, the floodgates are much wider and more people are diving in. They will start as the visitors. They'll maybe think about like causing some drama, or they will just like jump in, like start to like talk about like to people, and then
Okay.
they will like progressively go deeper and deeper. Like, for example, like Eternal, Potassium. I recently introduced a friend of mine from the like actual work into VR chat,
Yeah.
and it was literally like shown up like the pipeline of VRC is like working on him, right? Because like, do you remember the POTAS when he like joined for the first time and like how he behaves now? You can see the pipeline in it, right?
You're like witnessing it real time. Okay. I see.
Yes, exactly. Like, he started as like, I want to check it out, and like he then like really started to investigate the stuff related to, for example, other groups. He started to like think about like getting his avatar like ready. He started to like tinker around it. He like asked me how to like do Unity bullshit, how to do Blender bullshit. Like it really was a
goddamn.
pipeline. Like you could really see that it started to like narrow down into like the more specified thing. So yeah,
Okay,
the pipeline is
so-
there for sure.
Like, do you have any like value to like what's your thoughts towards like the pipeline in terms of its value? Do you think it's like a good thing, a bad thing?
That's another problem. It's really it really depends on the person, that's first, and it really depends where you'll bounce. Because for example, it's not like a straight line, because the pipeline goes like this and then it spreads
Yeah.
like into massive fucking system. Because you start as a newcomer in VR chat who like investigate it, who like try it, and you'll either bounce out because you will say that it's not for you, or you will stay. And when you will stay, you will get fucking like thrown into one of the quote unquote groups, or like type of a VR chat player, and you will like keep drowning into this. For example, you'll either become a party animal who like visit every Friday, drink themselves up, right? You'll either become a creator who just like dig into like really creative bullshit with avatars or worlds. You'll dip into like groups or public instances. It's like, yeah, I believe the pipeline for the VR chat, it's not like this.
Yeah.
It's
It's not like
fucking
one funnel.
this.
I think I would agree with you
Yeah,
because there's a lot of different like things that you can do. The example that I give when somebody like asks what the pipeline is like, all right, like your average Joe gets into VR chat, and over time, the more time he spends in VR chat, the more likely he'll become like a stereotype of a VR chat player. Think like a femboy, furry, e-boy, e-girl. Because I would argue like what you're describing there is like I would argue like probably not that large of the player base. Like creators like boss are cool as shit and pretty deep down there. I would probably not as many of those as like say like furries, you know?
Yeah. Footage.
Yeah, so
We all
that's sort of
know
like
how
that's why I was sort of like curious on like the value I guess you have towards this this pipeline, right?
Hell, it's hard to describe, to be honest. I know if
I
it's
understand,
because
I
of like
understand.
maybe I'm too dumb, or maybe I'm too tired, but
I mean, it's 6 a.m. for you, man. I like, I understand you. Don't stress.
Yeah, like the fact that not only I like spend my free time here, I also work with VR on the daily basis. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's just like. But yeah, like to sum up what I was talking about, at least from my perspective, the pipeline is not a line, but it like starts wide, goes narrow, and then it like spreads.
Like an hourglass. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
Because this is like
Yeah.
the narrow point is like where the like person who started to like investigate the VR will either bounce off or go through, and when they will go through, then they will fucking spread, and God knows where.
yeah, so okay, I think that's all for me. I don't think we're gonna get too much deeper on that topic. Do you have any questions for me or any final statements, questions, all that stuff?
Let me think. I don't think so. I'm glad that you asked for all this stuff because, like, as I said, I like really investigate VR by myself
Yeah,
as well.
you're
Like, I
it's
based my
your,
fucking master degree on it. Yeah,
PhD, right?
yeah. Not yet at least.
Oh shit, PhD
But-
VR chat here. Okay, fucking John Fortnite in the building.
I based my master degree on VR, and I was like so like happy that I was able to like present all the retards I've met here like on the like huge hall, like and show them like, oh,
Travis Feed!
this is like
Travis,
the,
oh my
the fucking
God!
thing
Yeah.
I experienced, and now I'm able to like
Greetings and salutations.
get like actual worth thing from it. But yeah, glad that
How
you're
are
doing
you?
this because it needs to be done.
Okay. Fuck yeah, man.
Greetings and salutations.
What's up?
fine
Yes,
shit.
Can I unmute them now? What's up? What's happening?
The
But yeah,
level of ignorance is astounding.
because-
The level of
I can
ignorance.
see the life channel.
Oh yes.
I can
I'm not talking about
I
you.
can see the live
I'm
channel,
not talking
so
about
here's
you.
the
Figure it out.
here's the
Jesus
sub,
Christ.
and keep doing the good
Why do
stuff.
you hate me so much, man? What the fuck did I do?
I don't hate you at all.
You're
but
acting like
trying
you
to be
do.
fucking cock, and it's not
You're
working.
acting like you do.
Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Gabriel, what did I do? What did I do?
Interesting. You did nothing.
I did
Bro, you
nothing.
called me
There you go.
ignorant. Oh yeah, figure it out, buddy. You bucko, buddy, old pal. Yeah, come on, man. What? What are you doing? What's happening here?
Are you fucking 12? What the fuck's happening?
I'm not. I'm just acting. I'm curious, like, why you're acting like this.
Acting like what? I'm not acting like anything. I just
Yeah,
wanna
calling me
enjoy the
ignorant
world.
when I'm trying to have a
Yeah.
conversation, just like asking questions and shit.
Okay, where was the conversation going?
Pretty interesting ways in terms of group dynamics and like individuals' roles and like how they should act in VR chat, etc., etc.
I love it. That's extremely cute. However, simultaneously, I don't have the time for it.
Yeah, then don't
Awesome.
call me
That's why I
ignorant then, pal.
Explain that.
What are you saying, bro?
I did the talking. No
Nobody
worries.
called
I
you
did the
ignorant.
talking.
I don't remember calling
My
you
my
ignorant.
entire bro.
That's fine.
Okay,
That's
amnesia. I'm not amnesia. Like I could fucking like get on a soapbox all day long. That's not gonna do anything for me. My entire thing is asking people questions and get their
Okay,
worldview. So if
this
you're gonna call me
is-
ignorant for
this
that,
is
that's on
what
you.
Want to do? I'm not calling you ignorant. I said
You literally
ignorant.
did
That's
multiple
completely
times,
different.
like 10 plus
Yes.
times. You're
That's
ignorant.
wonderful,
Where's
that's
this conversation
wonderful.
going? When you're interrupting it, yeah, you're not doing anything to help.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Says all I need to say.
Okay, you're the one drunk. You're like being like a whatever, dude. Yeah, have a good night, man. Drink some water. You could do whatever you need to do, pal.
Cool. Whatever.
Okay.
I also
I
hope you
hope
have
that
a
I-
good night, Gabriel. It was a good conversation. You're pretty intelligent. Yeah.
Nah, I'm dumb. Don't trust.
No. Don't talk yourself down like that. What the fuck? Anyway, yeah. Have a good night, man.
Jesus Christ.
Have a good.
Yep, yep. Alright, that was interesting. Yeah. That was interesting. I found it really interesting, like in terms of like group dynamics. In terms like I don't want to word this. So I feel like his like views on like moderation is pretty sound. I think that's pretty good. because yes, if you're doing a public instance, you shouldn't be like trying to cut people off from that thing. Most of the times it literally is just an advertisement for like a certain group or an idea. For example, if you're going to a B club, what kind of group instances are you seeing there? Let's just go here real quick. Fucking yanderes, fucking like succubus, stuff like this. Free use harem, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, yeah, but like for like black hats, it'd be like stoner groups. It'd be like chill out groups or like fucking crackheads and crack addicts, right? It's like an advertisement towards like a certain idea, right? And like moderation is only there to reinforce that, right? So I agree with that. I agree with that, like, fundamentally. What's up, Daniel? What's up? We're just going over a conversation that just transpired. We're talking about, like, VRC moderation. I didn't actually get in... dude, I fucking forgot entirely. Basically, I'm going around world hopping, asking people various questions on certain things, trying to interrogate why they believe certain things. That's my entire meme. Today we're, like, going down, like, the line of, like, group publics and VR chat moderation. Because VR chat moderation, in my opinion, is lacking on a wider stage. But for group instances, I find it interesting because it's sort of like self-moderating, so it opens up the dialogue pretty interestingly on how things should operate, right? And what kind of things should we try to push for. So I think it's a really interesting question to ask people and like ask like the general like vibe on. I obviously have some of my beliefs, which obviously will bias me, but it's been pretty interesting so far. Like we just finished up a conversation with somebody in the lobby here. It's a black hat. And they gave a pretty good like account for like what like moderation will look like and how it like spawns, I guess, in terms of, like group instances. Like group instances like sort of like play off the quote unquote vibe of a world. Like say a black hat is more likely to have a crackhead group than say the B club would be. Oh, I agree. I'm actually, I'm working on something similar, but it's not exactly on this topic. I think it's a topic I need to do a lot more thinking about before I do anything too crazy with it. We got sort of like into the realm of like pretty extreme hypotheticals, which I thought were really interesting. And like, for example, this is something I disagreed pretty heavily with him on, but we didn't really get into that much, sadly. He said that, like, okay, given the example, let's say we have a certified Nazi group, right? Should they be allowed to, like, operate in VR chat? And my opinion would be no, but it wouldn't be because, oh, Nazi bad or whatever. It's because of echo chambers. If you're making an echo chamber, which would be group publics, and like within these group publics, like harshly moderating anything. Yeah, for sure. Anytime, man. As I said, my entire goal is to like push these kinds of conversations as much as I can, right? As much as I'm able to. So yeah, it was really lovely talking to you. It really was. Yeah, no, Gabriel. I'm very it's sort of unfortunate we didn't get into this disagreement that much, but like I think like echo chambers are probably bad. you said like, okay, if they're not hurting anybody, that's probably necessarily fine, right? Which is understandable. But if we're trying to get like people to like more people to try to like how to word this? If we're trying to like get more people to engage in the game in the way that like would be most like, I want to say effective, but like I don't think that's necessarily true. I feel like it would be like good to have like a much more open like field of like discussion and conversation, right? Or on a public stage have like different kinds of people merging together, right? There's no point like bubbling people off, because that's just going to make people more and more extreme, and with that extremity will cause like necessary harm, right? But if you have a like a public space, that's not likely to happen, because okay, I say extreme view X, right? Let's say I believe that I don't know, like children should be enslaved again. Fuck yeah, right? If I was in a group where like, oh yeah, the child slavery group, and we like made group publics consistently, I'm not sure if that would be good, because that's all that's going to do is okay, I think child slavery is good. Yeah, me too, man. All right, how young we talking, dog? Bro, I think 16 is good. Nah. 14. Nah. 12. That's sort of where that goes, and I feel like very harmful. We weren't able to get into that much, but I do think you're pretty descriptively correct with a lot of things, which I do respect pretty heavily. I'm curious to see like I'm curious to see like other like views, like say from like let's say like perspective of like a fucking like I don't even know, maybe like somebody who's like more like uses it for like those purposes, like for like heavily enforcing a vibe, right? Because this was like sort of just like pretty neutral conversation, I feel. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to find somebody who can argue in the positive. That's the goal right now. Yeah. I think it won't be too hard. Just find like any like moderator from like a group in this instance is fine. Bonjour. I am 20, 2004. Yeah, you too, man. Alright. I've gotten 2 group invites today. What the fuck is this shit? I've been on the game for like an hour. Not even. Brother. Oh, that's pig. Okay. Hey, turn this fucking down, man. Never, I'm just gonna skip that shit. Never mind. Alright. As I said, I'm trying to find like somebody who would be in the positive. Nah. Okay. It's World Hop Central time again, I guess. Love to see it. I love to see it. World hopping is my favorite thing to do in this game. Definitely. I may be a bit tad biased due to the fact where I live and what values I was catching, and sadly, not everybody has their bias. Like, that's fine. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Gabriel. You gave a pretty just new. Like, I don't think you made much claims. You were just very descriptive during that entire conversation, but it's fair. Huh? Why? Because I'm live and I don't want people to join me. You're not visible or audible right now, by the way. Is that a problem? I just told you why. I'm live and I don't want people to join me. Okay. What a fruitful interaction. Actually, wait. Actually, Sparky. Hi. Oh, did they go AFK or something? Did Kobe Bryant? They go AFK? Oh, unfortunate. I'm gonna ask them a couple of questions. I know. I'm aware. That's the entire purpose, right? Get a serious answer out of somebody who's trolling. You know, pretty good at that. Not trolling. Gotcha. Sure. Actually, are you guys busy at all, or is it just like a chill out time? No. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm. Okay, so I'm world hopping. I'm asking people various questions on certain things. Would you be willing to participate in that? Alrighty. So, alright. So I have to let you know I am live. You are not visible or audible right now. Is that okay with you? Alrighty. Alright, so I guess we can just get right into it then. So, what is your view on group public instances?
I only joined group public instances.
Why?
But also hate them.
Yeah, but they're also like, I'm anti group public, but I love group publics. You know?
Love-hate relationship. Can you explain a little bit more on that?
Literally. So, I won't go in a regular public because it's butt cheeks. You know, it's just everybody there's a little kid, and it's not like funny, haha, little kids. It's actual kids just playing Among Us and stuff in publics, and I'm not doing that. But in group publics, it's a little bit more. It's still chaotic, but it's a little more
Tame.
How do I say? Tame, yeah. Any more thoughts? Cal?
I would say, like, whenever you join a group or normal public instance, it's just like boring. Like, it's only kids. You walk around and it's just a bunch of kids like yelling. And I mean, if you go into a group public, sometimes there's kids yelling the N-word, which it can be a little funny, but also not. So then you block them. And then there's also just like older people in the instances, and then you can make fun of them, which is even more fun. But
make fun of
the bad thing is if you make fun of someone and they don't like it and they're a mod, in the group instance, they'll just automatically
you're
fucking kick
kicked.
you, which is
Okay,
cringe.
okay.
Which
So
is fucking cringe.
okay, so
I'm
two
old.
things. How old are you guys before we continue?
I'm 20 years old.
I'm 19.
All right, and
Old,
how many
old.
hours do you guys have in VR chat?
I have like 2,000.
I don't know. I'm playing on Quest,
200.
so I wouldn't know.
Okay, so pretty experienced, I take it. Okay, got you. So you said
Not
like
me. That's all.
I am.
That's all counts.
you said you like make fun of like degenerates and stuff in this game, but like the reason why you like
Yeah,
hate it,
cringe
like
people.
hate like group instances because you get kicked for like making fun of cringe people.
It's not. It's not making fun of them.
Which
It's
is
when
not
they.
even making fun of them. It's like you just go up to someone and you're like, oh, like, and then you laugh at them. Like it's literally not even that bad, and they just kick you because you're like,
Their
I mean,
feelings
that's
are
still
hurt. But if
like
you're a
that's still
mature
like some
person,
form of like
it's
bullying,
that I'm
right?
blocking this person. They keep touching me inappropriately. And it's kind of weird.
So
Come here to get touched. I'm blocking them.
yeah, so I guess two things on that.
no.
Firstly,
You don't want to sleep here.
do you think that like
Have weird things put inside you.
what is the purpose of like making fun of cringe people outside of your own like in enjoyment, I guess? What's the point?
It's not like random like cringe people living their life. It's people who like eat-eaters that are, I don't know how to put it, just kissing and humping each other and then telling their whole like lives and how many boyfriends
So
they
the other
had.
day,
And I'm just like, that's funny
I
because
was telling a story, and then this girl goes,
oh
like,
yeah.
after I'm done telling the story, this girl comes up and she's like, oh my god, wait, I think hold on.
I can
My alarm's
explain.
going off.
So
Okay.
Cal is my friend, you know, and I was talking with Cal and my boyfriend, right? And we were all talking, and these two other people were there. And she was telling her story about how this guy ended up in a mental hospital, right? Somebody that's on our friends list. They're like,
Based.
oh yeah, that's sick, right? That's crazy, right? This
Okay.
girl that nobody knows in the group, while Cal is talking, just randomly says, I have a story. I was abused, and she just drops out on everybody, and we're so confused
Huh?
because nobody knows her, and we're like, oh, what the heck? And I'm like, and she's just going on a rant on this, and we're like,
Yeah.
nobody knows her. She was talking about her story.
Like, that's
really-
someone that we make fun of.
Did you
Like,
come
that is
here
someone
Like,
that we validly make
It's
fun of.
what you don't want to tell your personal information with strangers. That's why she was telling
They came here to get
her. It's not. I don't think people beating people is funny. It's the fact that she's telling strangers about her personal life that she has never talked to before in a random black
just
cat.
randomly
written
like
above
trauma
black cat.
dumping on
Okay.
on people that like you weren't in the conversation and you
What
just
do you
And
feel?
I didn't even
trauma
say
dump.
anything to her. I just blocked her because I didn't like
What do you
that.
feel about this sentence? There is no bad tactics, only bad targets. What do you feel about that sentence?
There's no wait. Repeat that.
There is no bad tactics,
Something about
only
training.
bad targets.
Bad I think there is
type shit,
bad
I don't even know what that
tactics.
means.
Just calling you trained.
Like to do something. There's definitely bad tactics.
Explain.
If I'm getting the
Loki, what does that mean?
So let's say, okay, I'll explain it. I'll explain it. So let's say that you are online. You're talking shit online. So the idea of there is no bad tactics, only bad targets. Let's say you are like an e-monkey, right? You have all like the DDoSing tools. You can DDoS people, and right. So the entire point of the sentence is like, okay, there is no bad tactics. I'm gonna DDoS you. I'm gonna dox you, and all this stuff. But if you're a bad enough person, it's fine.
How do I
No, that's not right.
all the special effects of the shield?
To
I don't-
dox
I don't-
someone?
Oh, never mind.
No,
Like,
it's
it's not
not
right
only
to
about
dox. Well, I
doxing.
mean,
It's
if
not
they're-
only about doxing. It's about like bad tactics in general.
Doing bad things to
If they're-
people and being like, oh yeah, well, some of them are weirdos, like that.
Okay, but doing bad things to people that are bad, that I think that's fine. But
Yeah, that's
like-
the statement.
like,
basically.
I've been
doing
doxed.
things to everybody
I've been
because some
doxed
of them are.
before.
I don't need you to pick up.
I've been doxxed before over false claims, and I don't think I deserve that. So.
Bro, I've been doxxed in a wrestling VR chat thing, dude. It was sick. I was
Okay,
just sitting in the
so-
wrestling world and got doxxed.
So I'm gonna like go to an extreme, and then we can like go and like define out the more gray areas from there. Is that alright?
Okay.
So the extreme version of this statement would be, let's say, a pedophile, confirmed pedophile. Like what would be like the level of engagement that would be justifiable for this person?
On VR chat?
Yeah. They're a verified pedophile. They touch kids.
Oh, then he should be banned from every group ever, and he shouldn't have a platform on
Just
VR
ban,
chat at all.
yeah, literally just banned from the game. Like,
Yeah,
that should
because
be
this is
very
a
hard.
13+ game. There's gonna be kids on there, so you shouldn't risk
Okay,
it.
but like, I agree with you that they
Yeah.
should be banned, but like hypothetically, they're still in the game, and like you're interacting with them. Like, at what level is justifiable? What level is justifiable for you?
Oh, so like if they were right here in front of me, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I understand the question. I don't know how to dox people. I don't think I would dox somebody.
That's exactly what I do. is
I'd
just block and
definitely report
them.
them, a long, big paragraph report, and I'm definitely calling them a little bit of names. I'm not gonna lie. If everybody's dogging on them, I'm gonna dog on them. I'd be like, oh, you're weird, you're weird, you're weird. I'm gonna just keep saying that, and I'm definitely gonna report them. But I'm not doxing because they could live with family and stuff, and I don't want to put their family at danger type shit. That's the police jobs, not mine. I don't have authority over that.
Okay, based. So then let's go like slightly less extreme then. Let's say somebody has like an allegation or something like that. They're not like necessarily verified. Would it be the same thing?
Who's telling me? Is it a random person be like, oh yeah, that person's a pedo? Then definitely I'm not. Like, unless I don't have like
Like, if
a
there's
little
not
bit of text messages, man.
justifiable truth, like if there's not any proof of it, then that's just stupid as fuck.
Yeah, and if I know firsthand, if I've
literally-
seen it,
Yeah. No, I have been
So now
called
we
a
asked about
pedophile,
like
and I have also been like
amorous stuff,
genuinely
or,
like
people
quote unquote
dating
outed
people.
as a pedophile for talking to someone that was 16 when I was 18.
Okay.
Which
I
think
understand
is
what you're
just
saying. I
ridiculous
understand what you're
because
saying.
we never did anything, and I never wanted to do anything. I had no interest in doing anything with anyone. So I just being called pedophiles is crazy. Crazy.
So
Crazy word.
if it's a random stranger, but if it's a friend and it's other friends telling me that they're a pedophile, I
Then
don't know. If it's a friend group and they're
I'd
like, oh yeah, this
probably
person is a
believe it.
pedophile, I'm gonna be like, oh, that person's weird, I'm reporting them. But if it's a random stranger and it's another random stranger, I can't really, I don't have trust in them to.
I understand. So let's
One,
go a
I
little
don't
bit more
care.
murky
Two,
then.
I don't care.
Let's
You
go a
know,
little more
like
murky
if it's a
then.
random
Let's say,
person, then
let's say you
Yeah.
walked up to somebody and it's like, okay, I'm gonna check who they are. You click your button and you go to their bio, read it. It's like, okay, and then it says some like weird something weird like, oh yeah, I'm in an open polyamorous relationship or something like that. What's like the level of engagement that would be, or like another cringe, like, oh, I have like the ID.
So,
I don't. Okay, I don't think
I'm
I don't
poly,
like
dude.
I
I've
don't
been
like
in
the
a
open
poly
relationship thing. Is I don't like that.
It's
I don't
not
like
my
the open
relationship. Why would I
relationship.
care?
No, because literally, it's okay. We have different views on this, but I think being in an open relationship is just flat out cheating. I don't care what
Yeah,
anyone
especially
says.
on VR
that's
chat,
weird
it's a
as
big
fuck.
thing. They say it's open, but
Especially
they
VR
just
chat.
cheat.
But if it's a polyamorous relationship, usually it's actually it's like an open relationship. Like people don't like on VR chat, people don't know
Yeah.
what polyamorous relationships are.
True,
So
true.
I think polyamorous relationships
That's
are
real.
okay, but whenever I see it in someone's bio, I'm like,
It usually means something else. Yeah,
you're
that's why.
kinda
That's why I said
weird.
both
It
terms.
usually
Yeah,
means
I
something-
agree.
it usually just means that they want to ERP with other people and then no
Yeah.
partner. And that's
I've
real.
seen many people where they're like, oh, here are my partners in their thing, and it's not the person they're cuddling up with on the mirror, and I'm just like, oh, so
Okay, so
you're
let's go a
not,
little bit.
you're
it's
not,
just-
What about
you're
like DID or something like that? If you're like open up the bio and it's just like, okay.
No,
Oh, that's
yeah,
bro.
no, they're all
oh
fake.
my god, I had this friend that they had DID, and they said, and they were just one of their DID people were saying that all people are weird and stuff, and they said black people are all aggressive and stuff, and then I unfriended them, and they were just like, oh, that was
No,
sick and
the idea on
twisted,
VR
dude.
chat is just you wanting to try to
I'm not making fun of somebody if
be-
they have GID, but if you're coming up to me and you're making it my problem, then I'm gonna giggle. But
Okay, so
if you're sitting there by the mirror and you have
I'm
GID,
not gonna believe it. If it's in VR
so
chat,
like,
I'm not
what would be
believing
like your
it.
like? I guess
Sorry.
what would be like your sort of like limit towards engagement then? I'm sorry if I'm asking like these questions.
What
I'm just
I would
totally
do?
curious.
My limit?
Yeah. What's your
Yeah.
limit for
my
things?
limit, I would talk to my friend Cal and I'd be like, do you see that over there? And she'd be like, which one? And I'd be like,
That's
yeah, we
exactly
do that
what
all
we
the
would
time,
do.
right?
Oh, so it's like
And
the
I'd be
petty,
like,
it's like the
yeah.
petty like gossip shit. Okay, I respect that heavy. Okay.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not gonna go up and hurt their feelings type shit. I'm just gonna be like, do you see that? We do that all the time with people's like statuses or.
Do you get kicked for that?
We're like, look
All
at
the
that
time.
person. Huh?
Yeah. No, we have. I think we've been kicked for doing something like
We've been
that.
kicked for worse, bro. This guy, oh my god, he was like, we chuckled because I don't even know what we were chuckling. Oh yeah, he was like, oh, give me a cuddle to one of his friends, right? And we chuckled in the bathroom. It was
Oh,
a black
Jesus.
cat, and we were chuckling. And they're like, can I get your age? Your chuckle sounds young. And I'm like, how does my chuckle sound young? I get
What?
kicked. I get kicked. After I
No,
tell him my
literally.
age, I get kicked. And I'm just like, and he was like,
And then,
He
and
knew
then
I
I
was
told
an
him that
adult
he's a
and he still
fucking
did it.
idiot. And then he said, "Yeah, you're getting doxxed. Yeah, bye. Like you're getting
no,
doxxed."
he
And
was,
I'm like,
he
dude,
was
what
a
the fuck is
femboy,
wrong
and he was
with
like, oh, you're
And
a
he was a
dishwasher
femboy.
woman. You're a dishwasher. I'm like,
Yo,
you're
literally.
a femboy.
Okay.
What are
So
you talking about?
how? Like, I guess my question would be, it's like you seem to have this experience, like had this experience a couple of times. How like common do you think that would be on like the broader scale of like VR chat group public instances?
What? Broader scale?
Most
what
of
would be
them,
broader
like
scale?
literally, so
That being
like,
kicked for nothing?
literally,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
being kicked for
moderator
nothing.
abuse.
Yeah, literally,
yeah.
a lot. Like the LGBTQ
We made a group
one,
because it was so bad. We
that-
actually just
yeah,
started
no.
a group because
yeah, we
it's been
started a
so
group because
bad.
it's so fucking annoying.
And a bunch
but,
of
like-
people just saying that they're abusing their power, and I'm just sick of
It's
it,
so
dude.
cringe.
It's so sick.
the
Like
people abuse
yesterday,
their
this
power
girl was
for
going on a
nothing.
rant on how she is abusing her power, and I was just like, this girl is weird. And she was talking about, I don't want to say it, but weird stuff with her friends
Oh,
and
the
stuff.
R.
And she was
She
taken.
said she was R-wording her friends.
Okay.
And she
in
was
a
taken while
public
saying that.
instance.
And we were just, and she was a mod.
and she was a
and-
mod.
And I went to the other mods, and I was like, this girl's saying this stuff. You know, they're talking to her. She's like, oh, she's just saying that because I kicked her friend that was a minor. I'm just like, that's not why I'm saying that. You should have kicked him. It was an 18+ incident. He's a minor. You can kick him, right? and she was like, oh yeah, you're just being a B word and all that. And I was like, no, I'm not. You know what she does? She kicks me while 2 other mods are there, and they're like, okay, you're not gonna do that. And they take her to the room and they talk to her. And I was just like, this girl actually kicked me because I didn't like that she was saying that she was R-wording her friends. Like, what?
Yeah, so in an ideal world, what would like a mod position look like for a group?
Okay, if you have an age limit on your group, if you see somebody, you're
I
like,
stood up for this one. Serious.
I don't know if they're that age limit. Say you have an 18+ age limit. I'm gonna be so honest. If I'm a mod, if I wanna hang out with my friends, I'm not standing by the door, and I'm not asking for your age.
Yeah.
I'm not taking out the time on my time with VR chat. So if you pass by me, and you're speaking loudly, and if somebody comes up to me saying that this person's not the age requirement, of course I'm gonna see if they are, and if they are, I'm gonna kick 'em. And if somebody's doing something disturbing people, or making somebody uncomfortable, I'm gonna talk to them about it, instead of just making assumptions, and just doing whatever.
And if someone blocks one of the mods, who gives a fuck? If someone mutes me and I'm like
People have the right
I'm
to
the
do
group
whatever they
instance
want.
owner, go ahead, bro. I can we can play game of fucking telephone to talk to each other. I don't give a fuck. I'll never understand the shit where they're like,
They
so
just have
actually,
rules that
you
don't
have,
really
you
make
have
sense
this,
anymore.
You have
They
this
just want to
mod
like
muted,
have power.
and I need you to unmute him just in case he has to like
And
say
he's
anything
playing
to you.
his
We can talk to
EDM
other people.
EDM beat music that I don't want to hear, dude. He's playing his EDM
Yeah, like,
music. Just talking
no
about
one
how
wants to
he
hear
has
your shit.
17 girlfriends, and I'm not trying to hear that. You know?
Okay, so
Like,
so you outlined some things that are like pretty common that you like disagree with, right? Would that be like accurate? So like,
Yeah.
what would you like? I think like, how do I ask this question?
I don't know.
So let's let's say you just said you just made a group, right? Like, what is like the power structure in play that would like prevent moderation abuse?
We're not. It's only we only have 3 mods: me, her, and my boyfriend, and we have all been in a situation where we've seen people like each other get kicked for nonsense, so we know what to do. And we actually have a friend named Sparky, and he was mod abusing, and Cal took away his mod.
yeah,
the day he
automatically
got it.
I
Literally,
literally took
like,
it away
10 minutes after
automatically.
he
I do
abused
not
it.
care. Like, if you're gonna,
You can be a close friend, but as soon as you do something like, I don't know, I'm not gonna mod people I met 10 days ago, dude.
Yeah,
That's insane.
So your answer is like you would be like moderating people who have like some level of experience with moderator abuse and know what it looks like. So it's sort of like you have an example of like what not to do.
Yeah.
Would there be like any more
firsthand,
like
and we know that's not okay.
systemic things that would be possible, or is that like one of like the biggest things that just like experience of what not to do?
Yeah, I think just, I don't know, because I'm not, even if you've been a mod for, if you come up to me and you're like, oh yeah, I've been a mod for 5 years and I'm a loyal mod of this famous group, I'd be like, good for you, but I don't know you like that. I have to trust the person.
Yeah, I wouldn't want anyone else
I don't
to
care.
mod
I don't
in
care
in our
if
group
I
unless they're like close.
Yeah. Because if I don't know you firsthand, I don't care if you could be the golden mod. You could have a badge, dude. I don't.
Yeah, but
it's not about that.
Yeah, you would probably
But
be
I know
like
that people will abuse mod just because someone comes up to them and they're like, "You're fat," and then I get kicked. Like what? Like what? Like what do you mean?
okay.
Like,
So
it's just,
let's say your group
it's
here
just-
gets like 100,000 members overnight, right? And
Holy.
yeah, so
Holy.
like how would that hold up? Do you think it would hold up?
It
How
would
that
hold up.
up?
I wouldn't care. See, the thing is that our instances are usually either this world or like a black cat, so there
cat.
won't be that many people in it. Like, it doesn't matter how many people are in the group. That shit will still hold up. And it's a 15+ group because we're not gonna discriminate on age either. If you can't trust yourself around a kid, then whose fault is that?
Yeah.
True.
If you're only
So-
in it, and we don't like people who mainly talk about NSFW stuff, like
Yeah.
Alright, so-
no, that's just
substances
icky.
and all
Do you think
that.
that would not like increase your workload at all in terms of like 100,000 people?
Well, I
right
don't
now
think-
there's like so
I
many
don't
like
think
groups.
100,000 people would join because nowadays it's always 18+ groups and
It's
whatever
always
the fuck
these
else.
no, because they're always
it's
going
just
to
like it's just a
general groups,
hypothetical.
like,
It's just a hypothetical.
Mhm.
if it happened, I think it would hold up, but I'm not tearing out my hair to, keep it intact. It's just a VR chat group, honestly. If I don't feel like doing it anymore, I'm gonna turn off my headset. Okay,
Fair enough.
it's not.
So like I'm just a little bit clueless on this. So for like group instances, right? So you can make multiple like instances. Like, can you make only one per
Yeah.
world, or is it like, let's say you have 2
can make-
moderators? So
no, you
one
can make
one
any.
and-
You can make any amount of worlds and any amount of instances and any.
Okay.
You can have multiples of one world too.
Yeah, so let's say like this is like sort of the question at play, right? So let's say you have like a large like player base that would like join your worlds, right? your like
Mhm.
your main worlds are getting like overrun basically.
Hmm.
If you were to expand that operation, would this like system hold up?
But I think if we had more like members and more like 100,000 people, more instances, I think we would get staff members. But I think now because we don't have a lot of members and stuff, we only have this amount.
Yeah,
But we
and that's sort
definitely
of
get
why
some
I
of
was
like my close
curious.
friends to do it.
I understand.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I was sort of curious about like sort of like
But it's
systemic
just, like,
things in
not-
place, because like I don't think you can like
Yeah.
you're not going to hear everybody's life story at a certain point or at a certain size, because you just need people to make things
Obviously.
like run normally, right? Or as you'd want it to.
Yeah. I just want a place where people don't have to stress about a mod hearing them and banning them, dude.
Yeah, so let's say if that is the case, what would be like the limits of engagement in that kind of lobby?
What do you mean?
So let's say somebody joins, starts like slur spamming the N-word. Should they like not worry about a moderator?
Obviously,
Yes,
they're gonna
obviously.
get kicked.
Slurs,
Yeah, so that, like
slur
that's sort of like why I'm
slamming, that's
asking, like what
obviously.
is like the limit for somebody in that lobby?
The limit? Are they
If
are they a
if
person?
they're harassing, so in our group, I'm pretty sure I literally can't look because I only have one controller right now, but in our group, the rules were like no harassment of any sort because it's just stupid. Like if you're gonna harass someone,
But if you're in the corner saying this N word at my job, I'm not gonna kick you, dude. But
Yeah,
if
no,
you're
like,
your
it
The
doesn't matter.
instance,
you're
instance is very glitchy, very buggy. If you guys want to still stay here, nobody else gonna be able to join you. But portal's gone. There's another instance. I'm gonna drop a portal again. If you guys can
Oh,
stay
since
here,
it got
completely
closed?
fine. Just nobody can join.
Mhm.
This one's been open since last night, so it's fucky.
Oh, love it here.
What was I saying?
Something about like moderation, like what these the limits of that?
Oh
What's the
yeah,
question?
if you're going up to somebody spamming the N word over and over and over, calling them slurs, you're obviously gonna get kicked. But if you're just talking to yourself and saying a slur, you know, freedom of speech at the end of the day. But if you're saying that if you're saying out of pocket stuff that's against the law, then you're gonna get kicked.
So anything that like to paraphrase would be like anything against the law or anything that is directly imposing on somebody else.
Yes. Or a group of people.
Yeah, but then that,
Like,
what do you mean by a group of people? Because
yeah.
then like just me saying like a slur
Like
in
a
the corner of the
minority
room.
or a group of. Well, I'm saying if you're just being hateful to a group of people, like saying like all the people of this race are stinky, you know?
I mean,
an
yeah,
example,
but
that's an
like if they're in
example.
like the
But yeah.
bathroom, if they're in like the bathroom with a black cat, nobody around them, nobody can even hear them. But you manage.
Well, then how
like,
am I gonna know that they're
Yeah, but you like
saying that
manage that's the
if
next
nobody
part.
can hear them?
But you manage to like
I
walk
manage
by and
to?
hear them, and then hear them saying, "Oh yeah, these like I'm not gonna say some racist shit, but like you get the point."
Yeah.
Like what
I
what
mean,
then?
obviously
Right?
that's
Is there any
gonna-
harm, or is like what is the meme there?
They're gonna get warned, but if they keep
Yeah.
saying it, then they'll get kicked for
A
sure.
warning, like if you walk by, I'd say if you walk by anyone and they're saying stuff like that, like it's like how whatever you go, like a visitor comes up to you and you're talking to them and you don't know if they're new to the game or if they're gonna crash you. It's kind of like
Literally.
that. It's like if there's some guy running around just saying like oh, black people smell, just run around saying that, then obviously that's gonna be a kick automatically. But if someone is in the bathroom and saying all black people smell, but you can like hear sarcasm in their voice, like you really, it's like the.
And then I'll ask
like
them
some
if I
people
don't know
you
for
can
sure,
tell.
obviously.
some people you can tell when they mean something, and some people you can't. Like you can. That's why I try to trust my gut on that kind of thing. Dude, I'm
So-
holy shit.
Okay, I'm gonna like give you like a hypothetical here. This is not related to your group at all. So let's say we have a certified Nazis group, and they are making up public
Oh, hell no.
instances in like the Black Hat. Should that be a thing?
Okay. No, but you should
No.
report the group. That's not. You should
Absolutely
report
not.
the group. I've seen
I mean,
many
why not?
weird groups like that. Report them.
Because that's
Why
just
not?
not okay.
Because Nazis are how do I say morally wrong. That's not okay to be a Nazi.
Okay, but like they're going to exist anyway, right?
Yeah, but they can exist.
Yeah, but
off
that
this
doesn't mean that
platform,
they
and
should.
I'm gonna
they
still
should
report
not
them.
exist on this.
I'm not joining the
platform.
world. I'm reporting the group for sure.
Yeah, but you're
Why
saying they're
say
not
it
going to
like that?
exist on this platform, right? So where else are they going to go? They're just going to go to more like extreme spaces, right? And they're just going to like
Yeah,
coalesce.
then I mean they can, but they're probably not gonna last very long. Like it's.
I'm just
I mean,
gonna
people
report
don't
the group,
change their
and I'm
mind
gonna go
by
on
like being in like an insulated environment, right? So let's say the certified
Obviously, I'm not
Nazi
trying to
group
change
gets
anybody's
banned
mind.
off
I'm
of.
just trying not to get.
Let's say the certified Nazi group gets banned off of VR chat, right? These like VR chat Nazis are then probably gonna go to like another platform that's like okay for them, which most of the time, hopefully anyway,
Rather not be on my
is
platform.
not, yeah, not as or more welcoming towards or, what's the word? Less scrutinous, towards them. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but.
Yeah. So
but,
like my
I mean,
my
if they're
claim.
going to another platform, that's not exactly my problem because it's really only this game that I'm playing.
It's the
Like,
other
this is
platform's problem. I just don't want a place where that's like, I don't know, like a safe place
I
for
think
people to
that's-
just be racist and be bigotry
no,
for
but
no
it's-
reason. I'd rather
Yeah.
not be existing.
I agree. I agree
here.
actually, but like, I'm gonna put a pin in that. It's like if that kind of group exists and are making public instances and stuff, like I would hope, or I would push for the members there, like, to like hear other arguments or hear more sides or like and be like a much more like be open to scrutiny. And this is what I'm saying is that if people are getting just like openly banned and not hearing any they're not hearing any counter arguments. What you're doing there is just like forcing like a bubble of these people.
Well, Nazis have probably heard that Nazis are bad. You know, I think.
I
every
mean, yeah, you
Nazi
need to
has
provide
the
like more
downsides
something
of
more
it.
definitive to change somebody's mind. To just say Nazi bad is not convincing for anybody.
Well,
other than people
I'm
who
not
agree
gonna
with
give a
it.
whole explanation while Nazis are bad. I was just summing that up. They probably have heard why, like, people's side of the story and how that's fricked
Yeah,
up,
but
man.
they just want to be.
Yeah,
different
but like that
and-
open space,
But I'm not-
I
I-
would
I
argue
can't
is still
go.
good because otherwise, where else are they going? More insulated places where their views can get more extreme. Because if everybody agrees with each other, the example I would use, let's say we have a
No,
group of people who are
'cause-
pro child slavery, right? And they have nobody else in this group that disagrees with child slavery, right? And one party says, okay, yeah, I think 16-year-olds should be able to work. That's 10, and I don't want to pay them because they're not legal adults yet. Okay. Sure. I don't agree, but like it's not it's so extreme out of like the current world. But then we have somebody else that's like, no, dude. I agree with you, child slavery based, but like we should make it like 14 at least, all right? But since everybody agrees with each other, like they're not hearing any outside voices. Is like, but wait, no, child slavery is actually wrong, right? They're just going to get more and more extreme.
I mean, see, that is like, I feel like that's a topic where you can actually like talk to people and like see why they think that way. With Nazis, that's different.
With racism,
with racists, That's different. Like
can't-
people
I don't
will
think
not
so.
just change their mind. They know it's wrong.
They don't
and they
change
want,
their mind.
They will not change their
Especially
mind.
on
They,
VR
they
chat,
know it's
they
wrong
just-
and they want
Oh.
to make you mad. Like they want
It's
to be
rage bait.
racist.
People, most likely, people in those groups aren't actually Nazis. Most of them, they're just little.
Oh yeah,
teenage
I
boys
agree
who
with you.
think
Like
the label
most people
is
are doing that
cool.
to troll, but let's say we have like an unironic neo-Nazi, right? Like that's like a part of their strategy to get you mad. It reinforces their worldview.
Yeah,
It's not that
just-
they're
it's to
unwilling to
be-
change
it's
their
to-
mind. It's that
rage
they're trying
bait.
to reinforce their worldview, and you're doing that, by getting angry.
Yeah, and they don't want
Sorry.
to sit down and talk with me, dude. They're not gonna sit down and talk with
I mean,
me.
you have to engage in like in some level.
I don't think I necessarily have to because
I mean, not you
I've tried
personally, but
talking
if you
to-
are trying to change somebody's mind, you are going to have to understand why they're doing why their ideology is
I'm not
leading
gonna.
them to.
I can't change people's minds on how they hate people or they hate this. It's more like if you hate a certain group, I just don't want to be around you, and I don't think you should be around anyone. If you're just weird. You're just weird. So
Yeah, but like
I'm
if
gonna
we do
report
that,
you.
we like open the door for like more extremism. No.
Yeah, but if we also let it slide, just like have a group of people just conversate with themselves about this, and the third. You know,
Yeah,
there's like,
I'm not
oh,
saying
yeah,
letting it
this-
slide. Like I
these
think my
people-
like a very key contingent here is just like, all right, let's say we have this right, in our game, right? I would want them in like public spaces or whatever, right? So where this discussion can be had. Maybe you're not like able
'Cause
to
if
like
a
give like
Nazi
the
came up to
greatest
me,
like counter arguments,
I'm
but
just
maybe
gonna
somebody
block
can, right?
them. Mm, I don't know if that's necessarily what I'm thinking because I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't want somebody to be. I don't know. It's VR chat, man. It's a fun social game. I don't think we should have political talks about why being a Nazi is wrong or something. If there's a Nazi
No,
on
it
this
also
game,
doesn't
it should
necessarily
just
need to be
not-
political. I'm just saying an extreme example to outline the point. But like, I'm gonna, like, I can like say something more real in VR chat. Let's say like the littles, people who roleplay as children.
Oh. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I think
Um,
that it's different. So there's age regression.
There's age regression
and
and there's
then
the age
there's
play. It's
being
Yeah.
a fucking weirdo. So
I'm talking
one
like,
one of them is
don't
okay.
do it in public spaces, guys. Don't do it in my
yeah,
black hat.
no age regressing even in a public space. That's just fucking. I don't know. That's just uncomfortable for
it's
a lot
just-
of people.
yeah, but you understand
It's
what I'm
just-
like saying,
don't mind
right?
me.
It's like maybe littles was a bad example. What would be a better example?
Yes.
No, I get what you're
age
saying. Though
players.
you like have a
maybe.
conversation on why that's like. But if you think about it,
No, age players would be a
little
great
comes
example
into-
because I think it's a perfectly fine thing to do, because they
Wait,
engage
you
in
said
it,
what?
right?
You
Age player,
said what?
age play.
Oh yeah,
No.
I think that's disgusting. But yeah.
No, I think that's
I
absolutely
actually,
disgusting.
I think I would talk to him about. I would talk about somebody about that. Honestly, I think I would have a discussion about why that's wrong.
Yeah.
And my
I'd have,
standpoint,
I'd
'cause
have a discussion on why that's wrong. And
I
then call
definitely
them a
I
fucking
can talk
freak.
about my experience with that for sure.
Yeah, let's say like hypothetically, like all the littles on VR chat get banned, every single one, indiscriminately, with 100% accuracy. I would argue that would probably do more harm than keeping him here.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that you would harm all littles, but I think you should harm. I mean, not harm. I think you shouldn't ban all littles, but ban all age players.
I mean,
Yeah.
even I would make the same thing.
They don't
I would make
equal
the
each
same
other,
statement. I
you
would
know?
make the same statement.
It would harm them. I think.
No, I'm not saying it would harm the age players. I'm saying it would harm society in general. More than what we have now.
I don't know, because it's a 13 plus app, and age playing starts to turn into them wanting
Being a
it more and
pedophile.
more, and the
Yeah, so let's
obsession
say we
getting
ban
greater,
every
and this
single
is a
age
13
players
plus app.
now. Where like going back to the Nazi example, okay, they're going to find like a space online that is more conducive to like
Yeah, hopefully not a
Nazism
13
or
plus
age play in
one.
this case.
You know. Well, if I'm not on the site and if there's kids not on the site, then I don't know. I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, for the example of like age play, I would argue that like if we have the echo chamber of like aged players, right? You pointed out something very pertinent. It's like that would lead to more actual predators, right? And stuff like that, yeah. So that's why I argue for like, hey, if these groups do exist, we should be open to having conversations with them, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from. I could be wrong. I can be changed. My mind can be changed, but that's where I'm at right now.
Like, you think that their instances should still be there? Is that what you're saying?
For instances, it gets a little bit more complicated. Because instances are... Like, this is something... I sort of want to hash out. Let's say we have a certified Nazi group, right? And this group makes public instances that are basically like the ideal for like the average VR chat player, right? They like have a very hands-off like moderation, and they don't like try to preach their Nazism thing, right? I'm not sure if that would be good or not.
They can make another
No,
group
it wouldn't
instance
be
that's
good.
not, like,
No, it can't.
not like that,
It
'cause
wouldn't
that's
be
gonna
good
bring
because
a
it would
safe
be.
place for other Nazis to come in and
Yeah,
say
it'll
all
bring
that.
safe space for racists, a safe space for. It would just be just a
A
terrible
safe place
idea.
for if
because
it's hands off, and moderators don't care about whatever they're saying. Nazis, everything. They're gonna be sexist, racist.
Yeah.
You
It
name
gives
it.
people a bond,
A safe space
like
to
a way
say
to
whatever
bond.
they want. A way to
Literally.
bond over the racism and get more and more corrupt, dude.
And it will, just imagine like a kid joining that. They'll be put into a space that's like, there could be pedophiles there, there could be racists,
Or
and then
if it's a
that
little kid
brings
that's part of the race that they're making fun of, or part of the race, and the person's just like,
and then they'll start.
Okay,
they'll
I
start,
think I
like,
agree with you
you're
there. I think
racist.
I think I would agree with you. I was just sort of like trying to find like an extreme example that might be the exception of the rule here. That's like the point of that for me.
Yeah, no, I don't think there would be an exception.
So I guess. Give me a second. Do you think VR chat is likely to create echo chambers?
I don't know what that means.
community.
So an echo chamber
Likely
is
to
a insular community that basically discredits outside opinions. So, like for example, a Nazi would do that by like, oh, they're all snowflakes. They can't take a joke, right? And
yeah.
bolster
already
internal
happening then.
voices.
That happens in the daily life, dude.
Yeah, that happens. That's daily VR chat for you. Like,
Yeah, do you think it's more likely in VR
It
chat?
definitely
is the
creates
question.
VR chat. Definitely creates that stuff. It definitely first
yes,
it's the internet,
it's
so
more
people think,
likely.
I could say
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, no, look,
And
literally, it's
then-
more likely in VR chat because you're hiding yourself behind a screen and you can move your arms and say whatever you want. But in real life, you're just a pussy baby. You're just nothing.
Okay.
Like
And
you
people
wouldn't say
can't
that
do anything
IRL.
to you
Most
about
people
those
wouldn't say that
things.
IRL.
I mean, yeah, but let's say
There's some that would.
Okay, I get what you're going for, but I feel like a stronger I feel like you could have a stronger like example, because I would just point out, are you aware of the politics Discord server?
No.
So their entire moderation scheme allows basically anybody to say, spouse beliefs or whatever, but it's the entire thing is that it is a space for open debate where where their like aim is to try to get to the like a closer truth of the matter. So if somebody's just being hateful or something, that's obviously it will be discussed. You can say it, but it needs to be discussed, right? And that is entirely on the purview of the internet, and you can say anything on the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if that's like the strongest example to like why it creates echo chambers. Like you might be right, or you might be right to think that, but I don't think that's the strongest example.
I don't know. VR chat just makes communities of people, communities that like something. It's just a group of people that like something. If any instance, it's groups of people with
there's
banners
groups
that
of
are
people just
matching their
sitting
personality,
with each other.
They like what they like, and then they get friends that like what they like, and then they get communities that they like what they like, and they get bigger groups what they like, and they all talk about what they like, and then they make an instance about what they like, and then they spread what they like.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything
So
wrong
on
with
and
that.
so on.
So, yet again, an echo
Yeah,
chamber
but-
is something that is discrediting the outgroup actively, and then bolstering like the credibility of like an internal voice. That's the definition
Yeah,
of an echo chamber.
I know your example. Yeah.
So if you're
And
saying
I think
okay,
VR
it just
chat
makes
does
groups
make
of
those.
like people, I would agree with you. It does do that, but I'm not sure if that like is conducive to a echo chamber. Because I can think of like many
I don't even know what
cases
an
where
echo chamber is. So.
I defined it
explained
twice.
it
I
2
defined it
times.
twice.
I don't get it, guys.
Okay, I'm gonna try and explain to you. It's like what he said, like a group of people being like, everybody on the outside, if they don't have reviews, they're snowflakes, you know? You know, we're the
So,
truthful
Trump
ones.
supporters?
In my humble opinion, yes. But, yeah. In my humble opinion.
So I get it. So a cult, pretty much. It's just pretty much a cult.
It's a cult tactic, yeah.
Yeah.
It is a
Okay,
tactic that
so-
cults use, but it's
So
not.
yes.
It's not exclusive to cults.
Yeah, does VR chat make those? And why? And how? Is basically, like, give a...
So yes.
A reason.
And I would say that that's like the whole ERP thing. That is like a fucking cult. And everyone is like, oh my god, yes, ERP is okay and it's not bad and blah 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 blah. Like, people have been made to think that that shit is okay, and it's just gross and it's nasty and it's weird and it's not okay. It's not okay. That's
Okay,
like,
so for the ERP thing, what
But I don't think
would be a thing of them saying, okay, if you don't like think this is good,
Yeah.
then you are a like discredited source. Like you are not important to me anymore.
I don't think ERPers do that though. I think I've met a lot of
that-
ERPers that are like, no, I do it, but you don't have to. You know, it's not like they're
Yeah.
forcing it on people. They're
Okay,
just
well,
like,
I think
"Oh,
that
ERP."
there's like, I wouldn't say that there's
I don't think
there's
ERPers
things
think you're
that
weird
have
if you
been.
don't ERP.
I don't think that there's like people in the game that have made their own kind of like thing. I think that like Trump supporters, like we've literally had to deal with this before, but like shouting
Oh, that was sick.
shouting Trump over and over and over again and just hating someone specifically because they didn't vote for Trump. Like that has happened.
We didn't even vote, and they were just mad at us. It was so
Yeah,
sick,
literally.
dude. I was just sitting there, and they just come in to be like, "You're a
Oh, why did they
woman.
have to bring up Trump?
You
Oh
don't support
Christ!
Trump. You're stupid. You're stupid."
I think
You're
that
a
Trump
woman.
stuff
I
is
was like,
like
okay,
under a
man.
completely
Yeah,
different
no,
like
I
epistemic
think the
problem.
Garchak
It's not an
kind of
echo chamber.
enables
It's
it
just it's something
because
else.
There's not really like, I don't know, if you get reported, it's likely just gonna be like a suspension for like a month.
A brush off the shoulder.
Yeah, and it's just, I think if VRChat does enable it because they're still behind a screen, and would they say IRL? Half of them would, yeah. Half of them would say that they support Trump IRL because they're dumb. of them
Okay,
would
so what
have
do
this
you think about
cult
the stuff like the
tactic.
blocking tools or whatever? Because like
blocking and muting people.
Yeah.
I think people should use it more. I don't know why the fuck they don't. Dude, I have over 250 people blocked.
Oh,
Like,
I hate when people
This is a
sit
good way to
there and
difficult
argue
one.
with people and they're like, oh, you're so annoying, you're so annoying. Block them.
Like, block,
this
dude.
girl
Like,
earlier.
it's so easy.
I think in our two groups,
Dude,
she
that
was
bitch
arguing
pissed
with
me
her
off.
friend that's a 15-year-old.
He's 15.
And she was saying, I'm grown. And she was still arguing with the minor. And I came up to her, and she was, guess what she was arguing about? That stupid little robot over there. He took it, right? And she was arguing, and she was telling everybody about it. She was like, he took my robot, he was so mean to you. Grown adult, by the way. And I went up to her, I was like, you need to stop arguing about the robot. She's like, her and her boyfriend, you're 20 and you sound like that. And they're just, you're a bitch. And I'm like, and I'm just like, and then I say something, and they block me. The whole time, she didn't block the minor. She didn't block the kid. And I'm just like, and she was like, oh, he was calling me a slut. Block
I'm gonna make a claim that I can be very easily dissuaded from. I can change my mind on this. I'm not strong on this.
Okay.
So, let's say like blocking and muting, right? In the topic of echo chambers, right? Do you think that as a tool encourages that, or I think it encourages that to make it like I think it encourages it? What would be the argument against that?
It definitely doesn't do anything to them, honestly. If you block them, they've been blocked 500 times. I think I agree with you. It does. They're like, oh, this snowflake blocked me, and they feel like they have some type of power when you really just want to deal with it. So it does make them feel better, honestly. But also arguing with them will make them feel better, you know?
So there's really just no ultimatum. It's just,
they're gonna feel
nothing you
better
can
if
do.
you block them. If you feel better.
Do you think Do you think there's no engaging, like, no way to engage honestly with somebody who is quote unquote trolling?
No, I just don't think that there's.
I think I've trolled trollers before, and they're like, "I'm funny, I'm gonna add you," and I'm just like, "No, you're not gonna add me."
Well, no,
That's
because if
happened
you troll a
multiple times.
troller, then they're gonna be like,
Yo, like you're just like me for real, for
They
real.
think I'm being
no,
satire.
they're always like they think that you're being serious. Like they always think
I'll
you're being
troll them,
serious.
and I'll do the nerd voice, and I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm actually on this game for 3,000 hours," and like, "Are you for real?
And they're
Oh my
like-
That's funny
god!"
as fuck,
And I'm like,
though.
They're
That's
like, oh my
funny.
god, you're actually like a no life. Like there's no way you believe
And I'm
that.
like,
Like you're a
"There's no
troller
way this-
yourself and you believe
You're
that.
a troller, and you can't.
you're
You're
so weird.
falling for it. It's sick.
Like,
I'm just like, "There's no way."
ugh.
So,
And they're like, "I'm rage baiting you. I'm rage
God
baiting.
damn it.
I'm rage baiting.
okay.
I'm rage baiting you, buddy. I'm rage baiting
Yeah, me
you."
too.
So, okay, so I think there's two interesting things here. You touched on something earlier, which is like, okay, oh, you're funny, I'm gonna add you when you troll them back, right? From what I've seen,
It's always
from
been.
my personal experience, this is anecdotal. Most people like want to find people who engage in the game the same way they do.
Mm-hmm.
So, if somebody is chronically trolling, doing it often, and consistently, and they find somebody who also trolls, or that's their first impression of them, they're gonna think more favorably towards them.
Or okay, hear me out on this. So this is on literally any game. If you're a woman and you're being trolled by someone, and you start to troll them back, and they just get so mad, and like eventually it just all stops. They're like, at the end of the game, at
We're
the end
getting
of the
slightly off
argument,
track.
at the
This
end
is
of
frustrating.
anything, they'll add you and they'll be like, yeah, I just want to add you because you're actually like really funny.
Oh, you're so
You
funny.
know why they do
Actually,
that? Because
why did you send
they
me a
like,
friend request? Because you're actually so funny, and I actually really like your
yeah,
sense of
and
humor.
you know why they do that? Because they like to be degraded. Because they're fucking freaks. That's exactly why they do that. Because you start
Damn,
calling them names,
strong.
you start doing shit.
Literally.
It's literally because they like to be degraded. And I can
start-
tell you
bro,
this
I literally
from
had this
personal
guy, he wanted me
experience
to call
because
him
I've literally
slurs,
dated
dude.
someone.
He was like,
I've dated
can you
someone
call me
after that
slurs?
shit
"Can
happened,
you call me
and
slurs?"
he liked to be degraded. tell me that that's not a degradation, like a
Degradation kink. You got it there.
Yeah.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah, just say you like being degraded and leave. Like, you're just a fucking weirdo.
Okay, so
That's exactly why they do that. And then sometimes it's like what you said. It's like they want to find other people, but it's never whenever it's a woman. It's never. It's always because they want to get something out of it. Because they're fucking weird.
I'm hearing what you're saying.
And I'll stand on that.
I understand.
Picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah. I'm not sure
Taking
to
my
what
socks
degree
off.
that's true, but I think I
agree
with your overall.
I
I do
genuinely
agree
think
with your
it's like a
overall
60%,
thing.
60
Yeah.
40.
Yeah, it's definitely 60.
Like, it's...
Okay, so back on topic a little bit more. Back on topic a little bit more. So the reason why I'm like bringing up this, like, okay, is there any way to engage with this at all? Is like, I'm gonna make another claim. This is something I'm a little bit more sure of. When you block and like mute people, and like implicitly imply behaviors that you want to happen around you, and depending on how you use this tool, which I would argue many people do use this tool in ways that encourage echo chambers. Like, I want people that agree with me. I want yes men.
Mm-hmm.
And thus, the only like group that you have around you is the people that will say, yeah, you're probably right. And then what happens then is creating an echo chamber. That's something I'm pretty confident on.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I mean, yeah,
I
I'd say
agree.
that we have our own little echo chamber, man. You know, if we see someone,
is it echo chamber bad? I don't want to have an echo chamber if it's bad, but I think I do have an echo chamber.
I think
they could be good ones.
It's not like everybody outside is stupid. It's like, I think it actually is. I think some people who don't have my views on live are less. I actually do think that, and I mean views by morally wrong things. I think people who do morally wrong things are less than me. So I think in that I think I am for fault, and I think that makes me one negative point off. But
I mean, to be clear, I'm not saying we should like hyper accept everybody. Like, oh yeah, this person like murdered somebody, right? Yeah, we should no. There's some level of things that we can say is morally wrong, and that everybody agrees with. And I think murder is a pretty good example of that.
I don't like. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
and I'd say that me and Insane have our own little thing going on, because
I don't think it's echo chamber as in it's to the extreme of this person's just because they're doing this one thing. I think they're less than. I think it's like if we see somebody that let me do an example. Has their face as their profile picture. We do this a lot. We're like, that's a little odd. Especially it's mostly women. And
yes,
I feel like those. I don't want to say
it's a disease.
They definitely attract.
We'll always
they
point
attract
and
the
laugh
men
and
going
say,
up
"Oh my
to
God.
them, and they attract the people
disease.
going up to them. And we're like,
is there anything that these kinds of people
you
would do to
shouldn't
be
have
able to
that.
change your mind?
Nope.
Those
I
people
hate
with their
them.
faces in the profile.
Nope, I hate them.
Yeah, like, is there like any?
I-
Say one of these people is like, bro, I'm just really confident with how I look. Like, fuck yeah, dude.
That's what they
Yeah,
usually
no, then
say.
you're
I'm
cocky
just
and I
like,
hate you.
Oh,
Jeez.
well, I would say that if I'm in a black hat, but today I'm civil. So I would say,
Okay.
you're fishing for compliments.
Yeah,
And
no,
I'm saying
like,
if you want to put
putting your
yourself,
face
put it
as
on
your profile picture is
Instagram,
definitely
put it
fishing
as
for
your thing,
compliments.
and
Okay,
switch your
you know what
profile
else
to
is
a
something
funny
something
cat.
interesting
Switch
with
it to a
this.
funny cat.
Something interesting with this is that like I'm not judging you for like saying, oh yeah, I'm not gonna like talk to like some certain kind of people. That's valid. You have valid reasons to like not talk to certain kinds of people. The thing with the echo chambers specifically is within like with groups and with like values related to the group. For example, I would use like the DID thing. It's like, is like I'm sure there's something in the world that would be able to like to change your mind on that at least a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I have no, I don't know. It's because the people who usually that I've seen,
So,
they just.
so I have a little thing to share.
Alright.
So I believe in this little thing that I like to call VR chat trans, where these men pretend to be women. They don't vocal train. They don't do anything. They don't like try to dress the way.
Yeah, I think that's extremely cringe. Yeah.
Yes,
As a treating myself.
As a person, okay, so I for a long time, and I still do, I went by and still kind of do go by he him pronouns, right?
Yeah.
And I accept that I'm not training, I'm not
You
training my
don't sound
voice,
like a
I'm not
dude.
doing
Respectfully.
I'm wearing female avatars because they're better, and I'm not dressing like a dude. I only do when I'm in private, but with my boyfriend, and I'm just like I'm hanging out, and I have he him. I had he him in my thing, but people were getting too. You pick one when I had he him and she her in there. So it's like I.
Oh, you got that like level 1 transphobia? Fuck yeah, dog.
Yeah. So only my So only my like friends from earlier like know that I went by that, right? And when I did went by that and people were calling me she, I was accepting it because I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't getting mad at them. I wasn't correcting them. I would only correct my friends. I'd be like, by the way,
Yeah.
it's he him, man. But
Yeah,
if
no,
you're a random
I
person,
only correct people.
I
To
sound
be
like
fair,
a female.
I only
female
correct people when
avatar.
I'm like trying with my voice. Like I've voice trained a little bit. It's not the greatest in the world, but it's something.
You're trying though. It's the people
Yeah,
who
no, like you're actually
they wear
trying.
one girl
There's-
avatar and they think, oh yeah, this
like
means
they
something.
they wear a fucking girl
So-
avatar and they have a deep ass voice and
It's
they're
the
trying to say
kinks,
that
it's
they're
the kinks.
trans. Like
I think
it's
trans is the kink. It's a kink, dude. They just think
just say
oh,
you're
it's
gay
kinky.
and
I
move
like it.
on. It's fine. Like you don't
Yeah,
need
so-
to.
You can be a feminine man.
Yeah. So do you like understand?
it's fine.
Like sort of what I'm getting at with like this like echo chamber thing. Like I'm not like saying like, oh yeah,
I
there's no
agree.
valid reason where you should like block it. I'm not saying that at all. Echo chambers are a very specific
It
thing
definitely-
where it's like a group dynamic where you're discrediting. Like there's nothing that you could do that this belief could change, right? And internally, there's some
Yeah.
like
And
figure
you
that
know
you're
what?
saying is like
Me
this
and-
person
me and
is
Insane
why.
really don't even have that. Like me and Insane have different views on some things, and that's fine. Like everyone has their own different views, and
But echo
some
chambers
of
is
them
like,
are
oh,
wrong.
if you don't have those views, then
Yeah, no,
But,
like,
like-
and definitely most people's views are wrong, in my opinion. You know, if I have a view, then I'm gonna stick by it.
Based.
If I have a view, then I'm gonna stick by it, and you can't change my
Okay.
mind. Like my view is correct.
True.
You know, type shit.
You're not
Alrighty.
gonna argue with me on something that I know is for sure I believe in. It's in the optimized
But if
box.
there's
when
something
you're
that
trying
that
to make me
I'm not
Christian,
like
dude,
fully
I was not. Ugh.
like if there's something
But,
that I'm not fully like sure about, like I used to say that I was a Satanist. I wasn't really fully sure about that either. But after talking with a lot of people, I just realized I don't really give a fuck. Like I don't even have. There's nothing that intrigues me.
I think
You
that's
know?
all
I'm
that
just
I
here.
have for you guys. Is there anything questions you have for me, or any like final statements, questions, anything like that?
Nah,
Oh no.
nah, I got
Alrighty,
nothing.
well. I hope you all have a lovely night. It was a good conversation. Good conversation.
Yeah.
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 Have a good one.
Tip shit.
No, I need world up. Cause this world is fucking dead as shit. It like closed a while ago. What's up, girl? What's up? I'm probably gonna have like one more conversation. That was like more than negative. I have one like neutral, one negative. I need like a I need a moderator. I need to talk to a Discord moderator. I need to talk to a Discord moderator. That's like oof. Unfortunate. That the conversation is interesting because like I feel like they have like a pretty like I felt like they had a pretty good understanding of like what is something that's truthful, what is not truthful, but it was sort of like hard to get it into words because like most people don't think about that. To be fair to them, they probably haven't like thought, all right, how do I know what is true, right? Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting to hear. It's like, all right, like for example, when they said stuff like, all right, who am I hearing this from? That's really, really strong because you're less likely to like take something from like a complete stranger because like what credibility do they have, right? What expertise do these have, right? What if they're my friend who's like I trust them and I know them to not lie to me, right? I wish we got into this. I wish we got into this a little bit more, where it was like that difference between like a stranger, like you can like have a stranger, right? You've never met this man in your life, but what if they're a award-winning scientist on the thing they're telling you about? Like, why would what would you have to disagree with what they're saying? It's that authority of knowledge that is also important, which I feel we could have gotten a little deep on. I think that would have been a really interesting conversation to have too, to be honest. I sort of want to find a moderator in this lobby. I need somebody who, like, yeah, I love policing the vibe. Right? I'm slightly joking, but like, not really. I don't even know what that would look like. What would a positive look like in terms of like extreme moderation? Like for extreme moderation, I would say, if I was in the positive, I would say, yeah, people go to lobbies for certain experiences, and thus, I want to make this experience for people. If they don't like it, they can leave. Would that be valid? Is there a better argument to be made? I'm not sure. That's the first one that comes to my mind. Another one might be like, if it is public, right, and I have some form of power to dictate the vibe of the lobby, I ought to do that because like, what is a positive towards like heavy moderation in a lobby? Let's say you were like in a black hat or something and you want to heavily enforce like chill people. If you're like even remotely disruptive, you're gone instantaneously. In the fucking pictosecond, they like say something rude or like disruptive. I mean, yeah, but like, what if you are in that position and you think of it as good? Like, what would be the argument for that? The only one that I can think of would be like of the virtue of whatever vibe you're trying to obtain. I think that's like the only way you can honestly argue it. Because if you're doing it because of your own experience. It's very self-centered, right? It's a public space. It's a group thing. It's very narcissistic, I would almost say. Right, so it'd be in service to whatever virtue of the vibe you're getting. So let's say you want to be chill, right? The virtue would be, I think, being in a chill lobby is better for XYZ reason. And hence, I do this because it is necessarily a chill lobby now. There is no universe where it cannot be. And that is good because of the virtue of it. I feel like that's the only good argument for that. And then you would have to argue on the virtuousness of whatever value you're trying to moderate for. I mean, their own kind of justice, sure. I guess. Yeah, I can see it. I would argue that, like, you would have to, like, to properly disagree with that, there's two ways you can do that, too. Would be arguing against the virtue of whatever you're moderating for. Let's say we have a chill lobby, where certain things are fucking, like, bolstered, right? Well, then I could say, okay, in this case, a chill lobby has the potential to, I don't fucking know. I can't focus. Fair enough. I hope you have a good night, man. I love seeing you popping in. Thanks for sticking with me. Yeah, it means the world. It really does. Fuck. So, if I was arguing against the virtue of like a necessarily chill lobby, like it cannot be anything else. Well, that leads to like mental stagnation. Like it would be a purely pragmatic argument at that point. Like logically, it's fine. Like, you'd have to say that, okay, I don't disagree with your logic. Like, yeah, okay, if you believe that being chill is a necessarily good thing to do, then it would make sense why you're moderating this way. But then I would have to point out, okay, but if you're doing this, you would have to recognize that, like, maybe mental stagnation could happen. Maybe it isn't as fulfilling as other ways of communication. Stuff like this. Those aren't disagreeing with the logic of it. It's disagreeing with the virtue of it being it, you know? Of being chill, right? It's the only way you can argue against it, right? Because I can grant that, like, being chill is a good thing. But, like, if you do it to this extremity, that it could lead to these, like, things, right? And then on a different end, I also, like, a virtue I have is a openness of communication. I feel like people should have the want and feeling to communicate in whichever way they deem fit, as long as it's, like, sort of not actively harming another person or actively, like, not true. So as long as you're, like, somebody isn't lying to somebody else and somebody isn't directly, like, abusing somebody else, there should be no limits. From my worldview. So if I was arguing from the positive of, like, a moderator that wants a chill lobby, and I was, like, sorry, I'm not arguing the positive. I'm arguing against that. You know, the argument would be, it would have to just be like, your virtue is misguided, because if you're doing it into extremity, XYZ problem can form, and B, it would be the virtue of truth and the virtue of like freedom of speech. Those are like necessarily good things in my mind. So that's what it would be a discussion of. That's what it would be a discussion of. Probably like freedom of speech, and no, probably mainly freedom of speech, because I feel like the biggest disagreement. Because if you're like blocking any dissenting party, well, I gave an example earlier. Well, they're just going to find other places where there's more like, where they're more like likely to like be extreme, right? For the Nazi and age play example that I gave the last conversation. Like, those are like the biggest things, right? Like, I would just have to argue from that point of view. Like the virtue of freedom of speech, and like the things that like being actively like mini mod would like do on the extreme end. On the, okay, if we're not arguing from the extreme end, then what about like a less extreme? Let's say we have somebody who thinks, okay, being chill is good. This is a virtue that I want to maximize. However, we have some agreement on the freedom of speech thing, right? However, people ought to interact in any way they deem fit, as long as it doesn't impede on the vibe of the space. Is that a necessarily good thing? Now, in the first conversation, we're actually like sort of like we're sort of poking at this in the first conversation we had, where let's say somebody's like being labeled as, all right, this is chill space. This is the chill zone. If somebody is not being chill in the chill zone, that's sort of weird, right? Like, should they not be chill in the chill zone? Like, should they have the ability to not be chill in the chill zone? Now, my brain wants to say yes, but like socially, I don't think it makes sense. Because like, let's put it in like a group setting, right? We have like 10 people in the chill zone. They're all there to be chill in the chill zone. And then like one of these chill people in the chill zone says, you know what, fuck it. I'm a like be a little bit of a shit stirrer. I'm gonna like ask some pretty hard questions for people, right? And then that's like impeding on the chill of other people. Is that necessarily bad in this case? Or should like the moderation have the right to block that because it's impeding on other people's vibe? I think they have the right. I don't think it's good though. I think I disagree with the space. I don't disagree with the moderation or what they're doing. Like, I feel like you should always be open-minded and always be able to have a critical conversation. And thus, I disagree with the space. Because if having any form of conversation that would be dissenting or anything like that results in a immediate kick or immediate like moderation action, I would disagree with that. But that doesn't mean that I disagree with the moderators doing that given their goal. That makes sense? I feel like that's the only way that makes sense. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm prepared. I'm prepared. You just watched a live debate prep. Honestly though, I might leave this for tomorrow. Because, frankly, I'm getting tired. My sleep schedule has been really bad recently. That's the reason why I missed the past couple of streams. So like, have you ever like stayed up so late that you end up like sleeping at like noon? That's what I was doing, but like at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. So I would wake up at like 12 and then be like, okay, well, fuck me, I guess. It's getting back on track though, so hopefully we can get this to a more consistent area. Yeah, I want to hear feedback. This is like a big thing for me. I want to hear feedback that isn't just like, oh yeah, you're doing a cool thing. Yeah. Like, is there anything I can improve upon? Anything like this? That's what I want to be hearing. Because I want to be able to push for this ideal as well as I can. And as entertainingly as I can, because that's what you're here for, right? Yeah. I hope y'all have a great night. Let's find somebody to raid. I really wish we were able to find somebody that was like... Jesus. The fucking Zone is streaming right now on VR chat? The fuck? That's goated as shit, but like, damn, okay. I'm trying to find somebody that would be a good raid. LARP of VR. Wow. Oh, perfect. Maybe not. God damn it. Perfect, I found it. Might not be that fruitful, but I'll definitely fucking do it. I hope all of y'all have a great day yet again. Let me grab the Twitch link. If you're on YouTube, just follow this link. Cause that's where we're going. You can feel free to leave, stay, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me none. Cause I'm just gonna be chatting some shit there for a little while. Yeah, have a good one.